so paranoid. I had to go like double check that all the overlay stuff was working. Also, hello, Konnor and Moto.
Hey.
So the party token was tilted and I went to go fix it, and then I realized that it would just immediately get tilted again.
Once I remember how to tilt it, I'm sure it would get tilted again.
Well, how are you guys doing? I figure we'll start the dilly-dally while we're waiting for V.
Well, we already yapped a little, but for everyone else, I'm doing good. I just got back from a trip. I was in Monterey the last 5 days, and it was very nice and very relaxing, and now I'm like getting back into the swing of being home and back into the swing of Pathfinder, because my god, it's been a minute.
I'm very excited to be back in that swing.
Me too.
It's gonna be like, what, 3 weeks without Mitchell's game, and then it's been a month and a half without this one?
Yeah. It's bad. Oh, gosh. I don't know why that always happens. I'm in 3 games and somehow they all get interrupted at the same time.
Yeah.
It's just the nature of things, I suppose.
I did sneak in a beginner's box run for some other folks.
I heard. Well, I heard how it went from Mitchell's perspective. I don't know how it went from your perspective.
I think it went great. I was a little lenient with the creative stuff because we were short on time. I don't know. You haven't played the beginner's box, right, Sarah?
No, I haven't. I just jumped right on in with Risen.
Basically, the group did like the first 2 encounters and the first hazard that can turn into an encounter on the first day, and then there was like an entire half of a dungeon level left, plus an entire other level of the dungeon. So I was like, okay, all right. We'll see if they try to talk to or scare off some of the kobolds, and they did an excellent job of recruiting some of the kobolds in the dungeon. And went a little unhinged with starting a kobold union against the tyrannical boss. And I was like, okay, we can we can do this. That'll
Amazing.
That's a wonderful way to skip some of these encounters while still being deeply entertaining to me.
You're like, perfect. I can work with this.
Yes.
That's great.
It's very funny because it like matches what the Voraktee group did. But like turned up to 11. They like had their kobold buddy that they recruited and then was going to become their like adventurer secretary. This group like recruited some kobolds early. Just a pair of like guards that witnessed them like horrifically murdering one of the stronger ones. And then
oh my god.
Came up with a plan with that group to like turn the entire camp. Kind of like, I don't know. They planned ahead well for such a goofy plan and executed it well. So
love that. Very cool. So you had a little bit of like an appetizer, a Pathfinder appetizer during this hiatus period.
Indeed, a little bit, yeah.
That's good.
I've wanted to run a game for a couple of the people in that group for a while, so it was nice to finally do that.
That's so good.
A couple of them have mentioned.
Who is this mystery group?
It was Miami, Laugh, Yuri, Simo, and then Mitchell.
Who the heck is Mitchell?
Moto. It was a fun group. It was a good time.
It sounds like it.
We're gonna be replaced.
No.
That isn't the plan, but multiple of them have asked about being like guest characters for like a session or two in this campaign or anything else that I do.
That would be so fun.
Yeah. I was like, all right, we can prep you guys for that and get you addicted to Pathfinder. A lot of them had the kind of like similar 5e to Pathfinder convert feedback that we've heard before of just like
Okay.
the 3 action system being nice and not having to worry about concentration being nice, and yeah, they were mostly pretty sold on the system.
Good. They've had a taste and now they will want to come back.
Exactly.
Anytime I try and play 5e, I always screw up the action setup in it, and then I'm always complaining about, I wish this was Pathfinder.
That is pretty much my experience with 5e. I'm just like, all right, I don't really know I mostly know what constitutes an action or a bonus action or a move, but I'm going to be annoyed that you have to like disengage as a whole action before you can like get away from attacks of opportunity. So, yeah. And I do.
Yeah, I think it's lame that you can't attack 3 times in a row.
I mean, unless you're a fighter.
Yeah, but that's like
A late level fighter.
I just rather play Pathfinder.
I do find the systems in Pathfinder more intuitive. That is not a secret. And I very much like not having to concern myself with optimizing bonus actions and being like, okay, this class doesn't have a good bonus action, how do I sneak one in? And they agreed. So yeah. Konnor, I'm sorry that I have not responded to your like slug blaster questions at all. Just not even one answer to the questions you were asking.
No, you're okay.
Um,
I've just been reading through the stuff.
okay.
Um,
I haven't checked if there's a Foundry system for it, but probably I would just like set up a Foundry server for you to run it, which I believe it's not like illegal if I'm in the game.
There is a Forged in the Dark, like, base system.
Oh yeah, okay.
oh, okay.
So if there's not a Slug Blasters one, we can kind of get close enough to run it.
Yeah. The more I read of it, the more I'm like, this sounds really fun to run and just like a really cool game system.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also just kind of overwhelmed with how much stuff there is, like, and especially how many how many specific in-game terms there are to remember.
I haven't read through the PDF, so I'm not.
You don't like that Slug Blaster has very specific words?
I'm just saying, it's hard. It's gonna be hard to remember all of them, and especially the ones that mean very literal things, where it's like, oh, a run is a very specific part of the game.
I think it's really funny because Bear sent me a video, and in the video he talks about how there's like 3 resources. There's like the kicks and slides and a bunch of other shit. He just like puts a bunch of this shit all together.
Yeah.
And I was like, if I was actually looking at a character sheet, I could figure it out probably pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But I love when a game is like, here's like the cool name for my reroll system. Here's like the cool thing for my like edge system. Here's
I think it's sweet. I just think it's daunting to someone who's never ran a game and also struggles to play the game that we've been playing for 5 years.
Real.
Like,
You think all the mechanical stuff
you just-
is going to be the hard part, but are you ready to play someone's like angry Puritan parents?
Yeah, I think you're.
oh yeah.
The it's really funny because all the mechanical stuff is actually
Oh.
that's actually all the stuff that's like very concrete.
No, I'll be honest, the thing that I'm genuinely terrified about is mixing up accents or like dumb voices.
That is
And
not a thing.
You're
we
not
should-
you're not afraid that you're gonna be playing my like dad, and I'm gonna be like, "Fuck you, dad," because that's what
Yeah,
I'd be scared about.
He's just worried about
No, I
my
mean-
voice.
Yeah,
There are.
I'm like, I don't know, like, do I record voice clips to help myself remember? Do
Voice
I-
memo, this is the accent I used.
Yeah, and
Oh
I'm
my
just
God.
like, wait one sec,
Oh.
guys. Let me listen to this back.
You know, as a player, I rarely remember the specific accents unless they're really outlandish. If you mess it up a little, I probably won't know.
I sometimes cannot
I remember
keep my character of 2 years their accent straight. So
Yeah, absolutely.
admittedly, Nishev's moderately Balkan / Nordic accent is not easy.
I
I
appreciate
don't know how
that.
you keep it up as well as you do.
You were like, here's my character who is generically closer to Russian European. Like,
Oh,
Should have heard me try to keep up an Irish accent for my other. I mean, I've done it in this campaign. I've had to do it here, but I had practice with a long-term like character that I played for a year a while ago, and I couldn't keep it straight then. I can't keep it straight now.
Basically, what I'm hearing is nobody will know the difference if Turris is just like, "Hey, governor, it's time to go do tower things today."
I
As if you
Taurus?
just add
Is
an
that
accent.
you? Eincrad?
Incred?
Eincrad?
Basically the same.
Someone touched the language crystal in his belly.
The language modulation system inside the tower is all fucked right now.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? Margaritas?
How do I make this happen? How do I inflict this on us?
Well, we gotta find our Mexico analogy,
It's true.
our analogous Mexican region, and then
What I haven't
we have to make it appropriate.
right. What I haven't put a fine point on is that the language reference for Montcalana is like Spanish and kind of so I would need to come up with a reason why that language has spread somewhere else.
It's so easy.
Somewhere else where they have margaritas.
That's so easy.
I'm not saying it's a challenge.
Oh, no, it's not. It's called colonialism.
Yeah. Which, you know, people in this world
So easy.
are fond of.
They are fun.
And we know that the current
Yeah,
ruler's an
they are.
asshole. So.
Mm-hmm.
You mess with the wrong tower, hombre.
Oh no.
Okay, Barris, I think you need to give the recap.
I was gonna say, I was going to.
Because I think you need the recap more than anyone else.
I think that's
Yeah,
true.
I love
Preach.
This endless nightmare post here was 45 days, 22 hours ago.
Uh-huh. Well,
Yeah, it's been a minute.
as you guys likely remember, you have been traveling through Greater Lanova for quite some time, looking around, trying to discover exactly what the Seraph wanted to do here, why they were sending forces here, why they were looking at these different places of religious importance to find who knows what. They were looking for something, and you were on that trail. And then you caught wind that an envoy of sorts was being sent to Tamliok to treat with King Rurith in Lanova. You thought that sounded a little bit suspicious. You arrived there. You crashed this meeting with them, wherein they were trying to recruit Rurith to their side. And Rurith, for whatever reason, was humoring the idea. He heard that they were planning to release the Four for the Seraph's own goals. And he said, you know what? That sounds great. I think that if you do that, we'll win. And he was going to capitulate with that plan. You guys showed him a vision of what has happened on other worlds where the Seraph has visited, what has become of them. And Rurith decided that maybe he didn't want to risk that. You provided a convincing argument, and he turned on this group of envoys with your help. They enacted a plan wherein they would try to kidnap Rurith, take him away through this portal that they opened up back to a tower that had some kind of relation to. I knew I was going to stumble somewhere. Can't remember his name. Regent. Had some kind of connection to Regent. He was able to open a portal directly to that with the help of a device, a tuning fork. You thwarted that plan. You prevented Rurith from being shackled and kidnapped by this anti-magic device. You barely missed defeating Regent himself, but you did put an end to the Voice, or the Voice says he became the imposter that took over that persona, who turned out to be some kind of strange primordial creature that you knew little about. But Regent escaped, despite your thwarting their greater plans for Rurith. And that left you guys with a quandary about what to do next. And you decided that it would likely take the Seraph's forces some time to find whatever they're looking for in Lanova, and having secured Rurith as an ally, they want to have free reign to search all of the places that they want to search. They will have to fight for it. And whatever they may be looking for, that gives you guys time to venture back towards Temel and Rudel to find this keep, this floating keep that you have been hearing about for quite some time, since before the Seraph arrived, in fact, called the Arx Sustinium. And I know there was some question about whether all of these keeps, all of these fairy tales that you were looking into, whether the ones that seemed familiar, you know, there was a theory that maybe there were multiple keeps floating around, multiple keeps that you should look for. I should have just mentioned at some point. No, you find the stories that I'm bringing up, you find them familiar enough to think that they are all related to the Arx Sustinium. So, you also found out that there is a sketch of the man that is hunting you, named the Huntsman, who is searching for you in the South Valley March. And this amulet that he had around his neck matches the symbol of the royal family of Rudel. And with all of this kind of mounting, with this... Hello, right? With this kind of fresh in your mind, your thoughts turned to this Arx Sustinium, and you have decided to venture towards Temel and Rudel to find that keep, or at least search for leads. In the middle of all this, you also found out that Temel had declared war on Lanova, with conveniently poor timing, suspiciously poor timing, and you have recruited Luna, the royal guard, one of the royal guards of the Queen of Temel, to come with you to try to resolve that in some fashion. I do not believe we have decided how or which direction we are trying to march with that, but Luna is hoping to change the course of this declaration of war. With that, we last set down the campaign with the party kind of, some of you in the tower, some of you out and about in the town. I would like to jump to when you are all regrouped, if possible. My only question, I suppose, is that in Tamliok preparing to depart from there, are you going to the tower and departing from there? What is the general plan? Because we left in a slight state of flux, so perhaps we can table talk our way to a next immediate step.
From what I can recall, we dispelled the door in Rurit's throne room, and I don't remember where we put it, or if we put it.
We did not
moving it.
put it anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the group is back in Tamliok. You dispelled the door. You have not reset it up anywhere.
It makes it basically made no sense to reset up the door because we're leaving.
So then we would be leaving from Tamliok
Okay.
rather than from the tower.
All right. Sounds good. So, you have...
Unless it is somehow faster to go to the
Yeah.
tower
I'm like,
and
geographically, I
then
don't
take
think
a boat
Well,
from way down here. Can't see where my mouse is. And come up and go this way. But I don't see that as being true, so I don't think that's what's happening here.
it may line up to be faster if there was conveniently a good boat ready to go, on your command when you got to the ocean in the Valley March, but that is, you have no inkling that is true. So, yeah, it's kind of like starting from the very south of Valley March and marching north, or starting kind of northeast of Temel and going through Lanova. There's not a huge distance change. From the tower, it might be shorter, but you are marching through more dangerous land. And marching in a place much closer to the Seraph's forces. So, I don't know, man. We can take a look at the Valley March if you want.
I don't know. I was actually already convinced we were just gonna go from this to this.
Okay. Yes. Marching directly through the mountains will, of course, be difficult and slow on its own, but people have done it. You've been hearing rumors about people doing it, people living up in those mountains, so people smuggling through those mountains. So you could probably find a path.
Yeah.
So, how far south are you guys trying to go? Are you kind of making your way to Bayagu? Yes, correct. Are you, basically the sensible ways to go are kind of down by Bayagu, through the place you've already been with the observatory, and then down this way, through this kind of alley that you don't know much about, or the easiest walk is
We're not going to Temel, firstly.
Oh, okay. You were trying to go directly to Rudel.
We're going to Rudel.
Okay.
Because
That was my understanding.
that is where, according to the research people, that the castle is over here somewhere.
Yeah, Titan Egwin said it was in Rudel.
Okay. All right. Then Bayagu makes no sense because this is just very hard going through the highest of the mountains. Probably makes more sense to
Yeah.
cut through this valley, get over here.
Yes. Also, I have like a treaty with Rudel.
Right, yes.
I have a thing I need to give to them.
Okay. All right.
Also, we will need time.
Absolutely makes sense. Okay. So, that doesn't stop the early part of the journey too much, I suppose. Through a little bit of talking around and asking, the kind of easiest ways to get southwest are through this little pass here. And then kind of over to the valley where you already were, really. There's a way to go around this way. It doesn't save much time and is, again, kind of an early march through mountains. So if you guys are still making use of the horses in the carriage, then south way makes more sense.
If only we had some sort of flying ship.
If only. I wonder if you can find one somewhere. There are none for sale in Tamliok, at the very least.
Yeah, there's no flying ship dealerships that are anywhere convenient.
Mhm.
Not to be confused with flying dealerships.
Yeah,
Well, the flying dealership is where you get the flying dealer to get to your flying ship.
well,
Mm.
there are, in fact, flying dealerships that deal in other things.
Not to be confused with flying ship dealers.
Yeah.
Although we could use a flying ship dealer right now.
That's true.
Really,
Flying ship dealer.
if any of
as
these
opposed
were,
to a flying ship dealer.
if any of these were around,
Precisely.
it would be very convenient. At present time, you only have several horses and a very nice carriage. That doesn't fly.
Either way, I'm happy to just come here and then start hiking the mountains. It's really not that big of a deal to me.
All right. Well, you guys get each other together. You get your horses and carriage together. And you start to depart. You notice that you are perhaps not the only ones leaving town. There are several more carriages than you were kind of used to seeing, kind of like loading up. Some of them are conspicuously kind of like overloaded with like furniture and stuff. It seems like there's more than one group planning to make like a permanent move out of the city, with recent rumors abound.
Hold on, I'm trying to prepare.
No problem. And it has been a while. If we need to flash back to any unfinished business or anything that would have been taken care of in town before you guys leave, we can do that as you guys think of it. Do feel free to let me know if there is something you've thought of now before you leave town.
So no flying ship dealers or flying ship dealers or flying dealerships.
Correct. Yeah. Not that you can tell. You mostly see walking wagon dealers and walking dealer wagons.
Yeah, I'm mostly just trying to figure out how useful a climbing kit would be here, but
It's a good question.
it is a good question. That's why I brought it up.
Mm-hmm.
So the current objective is to get to Rudel, right? The castle in Rudel?
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah, and then along the way, we're going to stop in the Rudel Rudel capital.
Mm.
I have a thing that I need to give them, and then
All the while, we have this huntsman still chasing us.
But
And
he's
he
way
will-
south, right?
he will never catch us.
Exactly. I'll keep y'all appraised of his location.
Is he the one that got caught by the ogres or
He got
giants or whatever they're?
found by the scouts.
It was more intercepted. I don't remember that he was captured.
Yeah,
Caught
he left.
is a strong word.
left
He was
before-
spotted.
He was spotted by townspeople. He left before the ogre scouts got there. Sorry,
Ew.
giants. They're giants. And they just got some like descriptions of the guy. He had determined that you were not in that mountain village, and so he left.
We know why he thought we were in that mountain village.
One can
Because
presume
we were around there at some point, weren't we?
you
I don't
kind of
think we were.
teleported
I don't
past
think
it.
we went that far.
Also,
One can presume
I also
that you fled out of Sarosa, and the only way to do that is north or boat.
And that was the boat option, possibly.
They are going off of like not what you actually did, but trying to think through it like a
Yeah.
huntsman. Like,
yeah,
They don't
they're
know we
assuming
have a tower.
yeah.
they don't know that we have a tower that can have a door to anywhere.
Right. They
Yeah.
are
Or
not
from
presuming
anywhere.
that these nobodies had 100-mile teleportation access.
Yeah.
And oh yeah, and so the place that he was looking is one of the places to get north, essentially.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Via boat or via just going north.
Foot.
Not that
Please.
not that any of you literally know this. This just happened long ago enough that
No.
I'm happy to babble about it.
I was just curious if we had an idea of why he was there and we could like summarize why he was there, sort of a thing, right?
Yeah. He's trying to find us, and that's the summary.
Right. You from
Right.
like kind of bewildered discussion with some of your other folks who are more like accustomed to tracking people or chasing criminals or that kind of thing. They would kind of guess like, yeah, they're probably just like combing the places where you're most likely to go and trying to find a trail and trying to follow the trail. So like he checked that southern area, those southern mountain villages, and then he went toward the Stairs would know that he went like toward Expedition's Landing, and then like curved kind of northeast quite suddenly.
Cool. Okay, second question. The routes that we know how to get to Rudel, well, where do we get that information? And would it be beneficial to us to like ask around Tamliok for potential better routes and or the king himself?
Yeah, I guess the routes I'm mentioning to like get to Rudel, they're kind of like the common knowledge ones of like, well, you know, you can go through the pass, the kind of no man's land here, and then you can kind of like get into the next valley, and that's easy enough walking, and then you can cut over wherever you like. The easiest place to cut over is like in the north, but that's a far walk. And that's all like common knowledge. These are not like specific routes, they're kind of like things that people heard from someone they heard from someone else of like how they came. So if you want like a specific suggestion of a path, you would have to find it. Like you have a general strategy, you don't have specific directions.
If Turris is talking about this, sort of like at us, Isha is just going to recommend that we just ask when we get there.
When we get to Rudel?
Well, like when we get to this mountain pass, like it would be easier just to ask people who live there because we know people live in the mountains.
Oh yeah, if we know people that live in the mountains, I guess it'd be better to ask there then yeah, I'd agree. Sirius would agree.
Well, and I can imagine that Luna could assist us with some navigation on our journey, having come from that area, right?
Would you be able to? My logic is that Luna is not from the mountains.
Fair.
That is correct. I am familiar enough with the Temelian mountain range, at least the foot of them, but Rudel not so much.
Well, then we ask the locals when we get there.
Never a bad strategy.
Very
Okay.
well.
All right.
So I bought a climbing kit. I don't know if it'll be useful, but I bought one. I was spending 40 gold on an extreme one, but I have one. I would recommend that everyone else also buy one,
On it.
just in case. I don't know how useful it'll be, but they're only 4 silver. Like, it's not that big of a deal.
Actually, I was way ahead of you.
Darius had a climbing kit the whole time? This whole time? Oh. Gosh. Frickin'. Konnor, I definitely saw your message 30 minutes ago. And not now.
I was just trying to look out for you, you know?
I'm as rusty streaming as I am at GMing. So,
I can't believe Rye didn't say anything.
I said hi to Rye when Rye
You did say hi to Ryan.
did,
We
right
all
in the
heard
middle
you.
of my yeah. Oh, like
I
in
didn't even
response.
say hi back then.
Well, Rye's clearly in emotional distress, so
Yeah.
from that emote.
Yeah.
That is the one thing I know from that message.
Yep.
Okay, so and we're not actually planning on journeying with Luna, right?
I think that was the plan. You just busted Luna. Busted. You convinced the guards to
No,
let
this is
Luna
like-
and Co go with you.
I thought we
But
left her
this
at the tower.
This is like yeah. So in the fiction, we're like a day later. We're leaving in the morning.
Okay.
We convinced them to come. Like we convinced them to let them go.
Yes.
And then we had like a time skip, and now we're on the next day.
Correct. So, are they literally?
But we're leaving Luna. We are not taking Luna. We like we're sending Luna to the tower because she needs time to fucking plan.
Okay. So Luna.
I need her.
Luna is quote unquote. Luna's basically in your pocket dimension. Luna's going to the tower and hanging out,
Correct.
but not literally
Yeah,
walking around with you
we're-
guys.
No,
That's
absolutely
great.
fucking
Okay.
not.
Perfect. That is wonderful
She's not,
for me.
Yeah. She, perfect. Okay, good.
Yeah, absolutely fucking not. I'm not walking around with her.
Okay. It makes it way easier to balance encounters. Not that you'll run into anything on the way.
Yeah, not that you've been trying to get us to level 8 by fighting for the last 3 months. Or anything.
When 2 of those 3
It-
months have been spent not playing, you know?
If we want to talk about that, that is just because Isha wants her to make a plan for when we get to Temel.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
Isha will also tell her that she plans on creating an alliance with Rudel to create a force to actually hold Temel just in case. Because that was what I talked about with Ruth, was that there's no way a party of 4 people could hold the city if it came down to that. So
Makes sense.
my family keeps opening and closing the goddamn garage door, and I need to go figure out what the fuck is happening.
Oh, no. You're You're getting garage doored again.
Out again.
It's so funny that is such a very unfortunate that that's such a thing.
It's such a consistent problem he has to deal with. Poor thing.
What's the overarching problem?
When the garage door
Like-
opens or closes, the internet cuts.
Oh,
It's very strange. We don't know if it's literally the walls are shaking. We don't know if it's interference from the garage door motor is like messing with a wire somewhere. We're not totally.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
They're gone. Thank God.
Okay.
Holy fuck. I mean, I don't know what it is, but it's also just annoying.
Yeah.
Because I can feel it.
Right. Fair. Okay.
Jesus Christ. Okay, I'm back. I'm relaxed. I'm calm.
I'm not calm. I'm on edge.
I'm ready to gently scold people.
Oh, excellent. So, general plan plotted out. Yourselves gathered and your accomplices put in pocket dimensions. You guys, as I said, start to journey out of town, seeing all of these other vehicles of various sizes being loaded with items and from people perhaps returning home, perhaps fleeing the area. Just generally getting out of Dodge. The other thing that I don't believe I noted last time is that in the night in between, some of you were certainly in the tower sleeping, I think. Anyone who was not would have seen somewhat familiar, somewhat ominous star showers with soft sounds of thunder-like sounds in the area surrounding Tamliok. And you have seen that often enough now to know that that probably means that they have started to shower moonflowers down in the area, having their efforts to recruit Rurith be thwarted.
You want to know something very, very vague that's in my notes?
Sure.
I just have Rurith does not seem terribly interested in, and then I don't have anything else written after that.
Well, that's just, you know,
that sounds
It's
about
the-
right.
It's
From-
the
from
last
what
thing
understand.
It's the last thing I wrote, and I have like a dash, so obviously it was like a list of stuff I was gonna write, but I just didn't fucking finish writing it, I guess.
you know,
Well, the last, yeah.
sometimes you just put in a wild card, you know, and it's just, you're correct. You're correct. Rurith does not seem terribly interested in.
In most things, really.
Hmm.
Well, the last thing we did was talk to him about that treaty for Rudel.
Yes,
So maybe it was that.
he did handle that quickly. He was
no,
moderately interested
no.
in that.
He was. I think it had to do with the castle. I think it had to do with the Arx. I think I was reading into the tone by which he was sort of like passively talking about it.
Makes sense. He's got a lot of things to
But
think about right now, so that anything that he considers ancillary, like, he is happy to delegate a lot of what you're concerned about to you. It's like, great, I'm glad you're working on that. Anyway,
okay.
as I was starting to babble, the party, you make your way out of the gates with your horses, with your cart, start venturing south. Before too long, you kind of hit the tree line. Forgot that this is actually like just a long distance, but there is kind of a moderate road that goes, it's like more of a path that hooks around this river and heads towards this pass, and you are more or less able to get, travel is smooth for the day. With the cart, with the horses, you are able to go pretty much as fast as the horses can go, and you are starting to come to the edge, coming to the area where this forest kind of thins out, and you start to see the pass that you will be traveling through. And as nighttime starts to fall, how do you guys plan to handle the nights as you travel? Are you mostly staying out of the tower and taking watch? Are you mostly entering the tower?
I think having an unattended door anywhere is something we shouldn't risk. So Stairs would vote to take a watch.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense to actually set up a door and go to the tower, and yeah, there's not a lot of sense in that, in my opinion.
Agreed.
Alternatively, we can still camp out, but always draw the door in camp for a quick getaway if we need it.
I still think it's just easier to not draw the door.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's
not
just-
to risk it being exposed to anything. Let's keep that in our back pocket.
Okay. And do
We
you
can
have
handle anything that comes for us in these.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Do we have any what do we call them? Confidants, assistant, tower denizens that are out and about in Tamliant right now that need to go home before we do anything, or is that kind of just quote unquote handled already?
Go ahead.
I think we just are saying that they're already there. Like, everyone who is in Tamliant is gone now, and they're in the tower, and now we're traveling.
I think, if you don't mind me imposing this, I think that Cilia, I think you would have found her, would have said, hey, come back to the tower, we're leaving. And I think Cilia would have said, I think I still have a little bit of work to do here. I can easily make my own way back.
If that's what she wants to do, she can do that.
Okay. I think she will do that. So that's the only one who's out and about up here. Apahu went back already.
He's a smart man, that Apahu.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have seen, I don't know if you've ever gone on a long drive and just ended up in a kind of pod where there was a car. You could see the same set of headlights behind you for an hour. Before you got into the woods here, there was a cart that left sometime shortly after you that you could see kind of traveling behind you guys for much of the day. And then when you got into the woods, you kind of lost sight of that cart. But maybe 15, 20, maybe 30 minutes after you guys break for the day to set up your camp, set up your watches, you do hear, I don't know how far you guys set off the road, so I will ask that. I don't know if you're camping right on the road or if you're breaking off a little bit.
I'd say off the road a bit.
Yeah, I was also going to stay off the road.
Okay.
Certainly close enough that we can still see the road, but not close enough that we're like super noticeable unless you're really looking.
Okay. Then you hear that kind of hopping of horse hooves on the road approaching, and then kind of the crunch of wagon wheels. If someone would like to roll like survival or stealth to see how well you have kind of hidden yourselves away to get this kind of convenient sight line to the road without being super obvious. Okay. Okay.
Well, I hope your bonus is good.
And does anyone in particular kind of like take notice as this cart is rolling by?
Probably keep an eye on it.
Yeah, I'll be staring it down.
Whoever wants to can roll perception checks just to see what they see about this cart. Okay. All right. You both
I forgot we privately do stuff.
It's fine. You both see this kind of covered cart, kind of a canopy arcing over the top. Can't really see what's in it, but you see kind of a man with like long, kind of very dark brown hair, and kind of this interesting, I guess, headdress on, sort of like under his hair, like a headband that's a little bit decorative. Kind of like holding the reins, just smiling, and then his next to him sits an elf in kind of like rougher leather armor. It's got like a bow on his back, and he is not smiling, not looking quite as happy as his companion, and just like scanning the road, scanning the sides of the like the tree line. And he looks over, and for a moment you think he might see the group, but his eyes do not linger and kind of like pass through the trees, and he continues just kind of like scanning. And they roll on by. And other than that, who's taking first watch? We can break watch into like 4.
I can.
Okay. I'm just writing this down.
I will do whatever the darkest one is, so probably the third watch.
Okay. Makes sense.
I'll do second.
All right. Anyone want to claim 4th?
Thomas!
I'll take 4th.
Armis and Scene. Okay. Okay. Trickon, you take your watch, and as the watch proceeds, kind of there's a lot of noises of the forest going on around you. Just lots of like birds chirping. You hear like rustling of leaves here and there, but nothing comes of it. It eventually quiets down kind of towards the end of your shift, and nothing notable really happens. Darius, your watch is quiet. You get rained on just a little bit. There's a bit of a drizzle that picks up. You two do not see anything particularly interesting happen. Isha, much the same, and Armis and Scene, much the same. You kind of finish your rest and take your watch, Scene, and it is quiet until your party stirs and starts to wake up.
Sweet. Scene would probably walk over to everyone as they're waking up and be like, hey guys, everything is all good? Perfect night. And then just give thumbs ups.
You guys... Sorry, I'll interrupt in a moment.
It was quiet indeed.
Hmm.
Quieter than I thought it would be, considering the way that people were leaving Temel.
Not many people traveling this direction in particular. Where did it seem like people were mostly fleeing anyhow?
It did surprise me that the roads were as clear as they were. Perhaps panic hasn't set in quite as firmly as I initially perceived. Hopefully we'll have a chance to stop this senseless war before it gets to that point.
It is not war yet.
Just on paper. Is that not close enough?
I guess maybe perhaps I have a skewed perspective.
As I've come to expect from you.
It seems unlikely that Temel will be able to mobilize and get their forces anywhere near here within a month or so. That's my assumption.
That doesn't make these people's fear any less real. Still think we should make haste.
It does seem
you
prudent,
should.
yes.
Yeah, Isha just starts standing up and stretching.
Yeah. Stairs is packing her camp things.
Yeah. You guys kind of like clear the path to get the cart back to the road. And then you begin to depart again. As you do, maybe after about 20-30 minutes of travel, kind of before you get out of the woods entirely, you see that same cart. Actually, whoever thinks they would be at the front of the progression here, you've got like a few people riding horses, a few in the carriage, someone driving the carriage. Whoever you think would be near the front, go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Since Isha is riding on top.
Naturally. She's like a cat. She's always got to be up high.
Okay.
It would be faster if I simply walked, but it's fine.
You got to keep it. You got to tone it down for the rest of us slows.
Okay. So, as I said, you see that same cart that rolled by the previous night. You hear kind of like humming, and the dark-haired man is kind of like loading the remnants of a camp onto the cart. The elf is just sitting on it, holding the reins, looking around, and like as soon as the cart starts coming around the corner, he like clocks you guys, and he is like staring kind of over his shoulder, watching you approach, giving kind of like a hard stare.
I looked at him. He looked at me.
Dark-haired man, throwing the last bit of the camps into the cart, kind of like turns and sees you all, gives you a smile, and says, I wondered when we might run into some other travelers on this road. You seem friendlier than the ones we met last night. I don't suppose you ran into any of that wicked luck in these woods. Ruffians trying to extract some of your supplies, some of your goods from you.
No, I can't say that we did.
Let them try.
It's rather the thought I had when I saw you. Such a big group. Some of you clearly quite formidable. So it's kind of like looking at Turkon. And he kind of like slaps the elf's leg, and he kind of like glowers. And he says, I've just got Brim here. Skilled enough, but even though his looks could kill, not quite enough to scare away a band of 5 or 6 ruffians until they get an arrow or two in their chest. And I don't know if you guys are like stopping to talk to this guy or just like kind of conversing as you roll on by, but either way, he's like, perhaps I could convince you to let us join you on your travel southward and save ourselves the trouble a little bit.
How far south?
Oh, at least to the river. We're kind of still discussing where we're going. Trying to bring our wares somewhere a little less dangerous. All the action in the capital is a bit much for foreigners like us.
Where do you hail from?
It was quite some time ago, but I'm originally from north, from up past Dospigwen a bit. Although I've lived in Tamliok a good 15 years myself.
I want to see if his story's adding up, if he'd really call himself like a foreigner after living there for 15 years and whatnot.
Mhm.
Would that be perception or would that be something?
Yeah, perception would be the one. You would say it sounds to you like he's going with kind of a quick, convenient story. Like he's leaving stuff out.
What
The
harm
river
is
is not that far down. You will be traveling with us for half a day. You don't think you can make it there yourselves?
Well, that gets us past the section that I am most worried about. These woods, this mountain pass, that's where the bandits are most likely to lie in wait. Think they can get the better of us.
We'll be
Pack your
traveling the same road anyway. What harm is it in they follow and we keep an eye out.
Pack your camp quickly.
He gets this kind of like bright look over his face, and he kind of like reaches down and grabs the last of the bags and like slings it into the cart. There's a little like clang of metal, and then he hops up on the cart and he's like, "Brim, you heard the man. Give him let him pass by and just go ahead and follow." And Brim just sighs and like does not look pleased with this arrangement. He's
I don't
like,
think we quite caught your name, friend.
"My name, I am Shavik."
Well, it's a very good pleasure to meet you. I'm Turris.
Pleasure to meet you. And as you guys roll on by, they will he gives an excited "hya" and like whips the reins, and his horses starts trotting on after your caravan. Your caravan, it's like 2 horses in a cart.
Caravan.
We are now a caravan.
Correct.
Now we are.
You continue through the forest, through the mountain pass. They're just kind of quietly following if no one kind of engages them in any kind of conversation. And then you kind of come out of the mountain pass. You can see the river in the valley below. And this path that you're on kind of forks to the east and to the west to meet with the main road that you guys traveled on to get up here the first time. And you do eventually meet up with that main road, and you'll get probably a good there will be like one more kind of half day before you get back to this keep that you were at before. And in this kind of the other group follows you at least to this point where the 2 rivers here are kind of like streams, more or less. It's kind of like a collection of streams that meet further on, really. And they have not broken off yet. So they follow you kind of to your next resting point. Let me see if I got this kind of... yeah, that's about right. And with the kind of mixed reception that they sensed from your group, they keep their distance like a little bit. You're making camp out here kind of mostly in the wide open. You'd have to take a pretty big detour to get to much cover. Or at least tree cover. So you're kind of in the midst of these hills that these streams and rivers snake through. And like I said, they make their camp just like a little ways away and do not like fully combine camps or anything.
Well, if we're to encounter any ruffians, certainly nightfall would be when they choose to pop up. So we should be on high alert.
And on that point, if anyone wants to give me again, just a perception check, if anyone was like keeping an eye out as you guys were traveling.
Seen keeping an eye out, huh?
I was hoping someone would get the joke.
Can't right click and reveal it. Weird. That's fine. You got a natural 20. Indeed, as you guys were kind of like entering the pass, You would think it would have been the eye that caught it, but in fact it was your finely tuned ears, your musician ears that heard like kind of whispers of conversation kind of behind some cover as you guys were going through part of the pass, kind of a tight corridor in the pass, like up a ledge. And you didn't catch the whole conversation, but there was like a kind of hurried like, no, there's too many, not worth the risk. So you know that when you were in that pass, there was in fact an ambush waiting that called off an ambush.
Yeah, scene. While we're going through a scene, would probably just like pull Isha aside and tell Isha like, I think there might be some people around here, but I don't think they're gonna attack us. But like, don't hold that against me. And Cian would like cross his fingers or his like little, tendril looking things.
I'll be sure to keep my eyes open.
When Isha says that, Cian would like, you can't really tell that much, but like Cian would like widen his eye, and be like, yeah, me too.
All right.
And then after we get through, Cian would tell everyone.
And I think Shavik would, hearing that, would kind of chime up and say, just as I thought, you've saved us much trouble. Thank you again for letting us tag along. And then there's like a little back and forth between the two of just like, told you, Brim, told you it was a good idea. And Brim's just like, ugh. They could have gotten us out of it. And you guys continued your travel for the day, ending at that camp in the hills, as previously mentioned. So, in terms of watch order, would you like to keep it the same as before? Would you like to change anything up with the different circumstances?
I think we should keep it the same unless somebody has a switch they would want to do.
Yeah, Turris should do watch tonight. Somebody else should have it off.
Oh, very well.
Stairs will give up her watch. Well, give her watch to Turris. Or Ironcrad, or Armis. I don't care which one.
Let Armis get some rest for once.
Yeah, my god.
Such a slave driver.
He's very capable and very willing.
Oh, and what I meant to ask the previous night. You guys received that wand of magic immunity that you were using for the... or spell immunity, sorry. That you were using for the nightmare spell, correct?
Oh yes, we did.
We
did finagle that, didn't we?
Yeah.
And then Turris has been practicing his mental blocking, his mental fortifications.
Correct.
It's slow going from what I remember.
Okay. Um. Okay. Sorry, just thinking a bit.
You're good.
Okay. Turkon, during your watch, go ahead and roll me a perception check. Okay. You see that the other group, they kind of set a watch of their own for a little bit. The Brim fellow stays awake for a while. Again, they kind of like keep their distance a little bit. But you do not see anything else untoward.
I squint my eyes at them.
As you are switching off your watch, getting Turris woken up to take his watch, they're also kind of swapping out. With Shavik taking watch as Turris does. Turris, you do not notice anything. Well, you can go ahead and make me a perception check too. We can get perception checks from everyone during their watch tonight. So next will be Isha and then Scene. Okay. All right. Cool. Turris, do you kind of keep to yourself on your watch?
Absolutely not, no.
Okay. What would you like to do during your watch?
And probably see Shavik awake and chat him up.
Okay. He will happily partake in conversation.
Can I ask him, and so do you have any idea of where you're going to end up?
Well, Ayagu is kind of near the border. Not terribly safe, but maybe we'll swing down there, peddle some wares there. Quite a few moneyed folks up in the mountains. Elven kingdom up there. I appreciate some of the finer things. Maybe it's a good place to stop. Brim has some family there.
Oh, delightful.
Yes.
What wares do you peddle exactly?
Oh, you'd flip trinkets, really. It's more of a side business that I've fallen into.
Is that right? And then what would your main business be?
This is what I did in my free time. Brim really headed the efforts. I worked at one of the churches in Tamliok. But, leader of that church was arrested for some shocking charges recently, and I thought perhaps it a good time to depart. Sadly.
Oh. How dramatic.
Indeed.
Might I inquire which church it is?
Stand by. My notes for the last session are really bad.
It was only 45 days ago.
Is
You can
it?
remember, right?
Oh.
It is, in fact, the same church of the man who was trying to lead you into an ambush.
Yeah. I can't remember.
I do not recall if it was Church of the Shade or if it was...
It was certainly one of them.
It was certainly one of them.
Trying to lead us into an ambush. When did that? What part?
There was,
Forgot
you
that.
put the
He's
man...
behind
you-
in the tower.
She was the guy with the antler horns, and you put him in a barrel.
Yeah, it was me, Scene, and Turkon that beat him up in an alley, and then took Agwin like walked by, and we were like, "Hey, take care of this guy for us."
Yeah.
He loved that.
Does Agwin know where we're at, by the way?
Agwin is blissfully unaware of where we are, I think.
He is happy we're out of his hair. Almost
He
certainly.
is taking a vacation, a well-deserved one.
Yeah. Everyone... Never mind. This isn't a conversation in game, it's fine.
Oh.
That doesn't have to prompt anything. Anyway, so you're asking...
Yeah, I did not. His name was Father Goyat.
He
Yes.
was the priest at the Temple of the Shade.
Okay.
Of the Shade.
Yes, Father Giat of... Yes, Temple of the Shade.
Yeah.
You guys Giat him for sure.
No.
I had an inkling that it was the Temple of the Shade. So yeah, he'll say that. He doesn't say Father Giat in particular, but he says... Yeah.
And even if Turris wasn't there for that part, like the party like said what happened, right? So I
Yeah.
can kind of piece together
Scene and
everything.
Turkon probably animatedly told you all about how we shoved that guy in a barrel.
Yes. Yes.
And he was trying to set us up for an ambush.
Correct.
The orders of like Augustine or somebody.
On the orders of the Seraph.
And the
Yes.
Seraph himself. Oh.
Seraph said, "This town ain't big enough for all of us," and
Right.
was trying to get rid of us.
The Ruchalics were floating around the city in the last session, delivering some orders, and that was apparently one of the orders.
Right, okay. And do I also get the feeling that this is kind of what information he was withholding from previously?
Yeah, he looks like pretty sad as he is recounting this to you. Going into detail about like why he suddenly left.
So it all fits together. Just wanted to make sure he wasn't also like what's the word? Seemingly nice, but also double-handed in some sort of way.
Sure.
If that kind of like fills in my inkling from before, then
Well, that's
Ursula like not.
that is up
it?
to you if it fills in your inkling.
My inkling before was he wasn't telling us everything, specifically about like why he was leaving, right?
Yeah.
And then this is kind of more of that, I guess. Oh, I guess he didn't say specifically. Okay, hold on. Okay, so let me get back into it and say, is that also part of why you decided to leave Tamliak?
Yes, I would say it is the main reason. Don't know much about what happened, but they say he turned into some sort of monster. It's frightful to Frightful to hear about a man I've trusted a long time.
That proverbially a monster, or he actually turned into a monster?
Well, he turned.
He was literally a monster.
Oh my god, how to
You guys.
grief.
Well, you.
He was
The other group saw that he was wearing the disguise of a person, and then saw that he had these like antlers and like grayish skin. You know, he looked like this.
Yep. With missing an antler though.
Correct.
Wow.
Yes.
That
yes.
guy, yeah, yeah, okay. I was thinking like giant, big monster guy, not tiny little freaking.
You know, humanoid. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You guys-
Nope, that image brought it all back. Yep.
You guys found out some stuff that this was like a skelm, which is a type of creature.
Yep.
Like
they try to create fake religion to get gold.
correct, and
Yeah.
they are made seemingly like from people. People that have been like filled with rage for one reason or another, who like gave into that rage and became kind of like this half person, half evil spirit.
Like a centaur, but full of evil.
Correct.
Yeah. All right. I definitely remember that now. Cool. That picture jarred everything. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Just kind of like scan the tree line or the bushes or anything. Just kind of giving doing his diligence to keep watch, but kind of like continue the conversation and ask, how long did you know this man for?
Well, can't quite recall if it was all 15 years I was in Tamel, but a goodly number of them is the reason I remained there, performing work for the church. It was fulfilling. Got good at, he said I had a gift for excising evil spirits.
Oh, the irony.
So I've helped the church cleanse holy sites in the region in recent years.
Holy sites, he says. We've got a bauble of holy sites, don't we? Okay, now I need a recap on that. What was our last knowledge about the bauble? We said we're not really looking into it right now because of you know that it's going to be active in like very specific ones, not like
the bauble is much like the glasses, the blue glasses of leyline revealing.
They're green.
right.
Except they are tuned to react. So like the leyline glasses let you see ley lines in the distance. This reacts when you are on top of a confluence of ley lines. A nexus of them, if you will. And it can have smaller reactions to smaller confluences, but the only time it does the thing, lights up all the way, would be like on top of a ley line nexus.
And so we are assuming that one of the churches has this nexus, but we don't know which one, and it's so right now we have so little information that it's a needle in a haystack, so we would just be searching everywhere, right? That's what the general consensus was, which is why we're not pursuing that right now.
More or less what you guys decided, yeah. That and, you know, as I kind of went over in the recap, like, it will take them more time now to find what they're looking for, now that you've worded their plans to get in good with Rurith, worded their plans to use the Ronald's renovations to find the church.
Yeah.
Name isn't Ronald, but
It's
Reston's restorations. Yes.
Resin.
Ronald.
Ron,
His name is Ronald now.
Residence files.
Ronald's refurbishments
thought
are their competition.
Yeah. Which are their business is booming now, actually.
Yeah,
For some reason.
yeah.
You thought a little antler dweeb could stop us? Ridiculous. Okay.
I know he really tried to be intimidating. It was a valiant effort.
Ogwyn did let you know that they like raided the spot where the ambush itself was supposed to happen, and they found like 10 dudes.
That's a lot of dudes.
It is a lot of dudes.
They all have antlers?
No,
Did some of them have antlers?
you didn't really get the details.
We kept that out of our retelling. Sorry.
Okay. Trying to figure out if I'm trying to figure out how to phrase a helpful question that might be useful right now. And he said that he helped with cleansing some of the local holy sites, right? That's what he said specifically.
Yeah, basically did exorcisms.
Oh, and how long did you do that for? Did you travel far?
It was mostly in the area around Temel. Some abandoned churches, some rites over graveyards, that kind of thing.
Oh, I see.
Only
It never happened to. Oh, go ahead.
only traveled out of Temel proper, or Lanova proper, a couple of times.
Those must have been very special times, if that's the case.
Special, I suppose. They were churches of the Shade of Death that had been haunted, as it were. So, under our purview, and he kind of shrugs. I would say special circumstances more than special occasions, if that makes sense.
Oh. And did you only ever visit Temples of the Shade of Death or any others?
We only went out of our way for Temples of the Shade of Death. They were our responsibility. We would offer our services to other churches in the area, and not even just churches, but, you know, places where people suspected spirits to linger.
Of course, yes. Anyway, there's something strange in the neighborhood, you're saying.
Correct. Usually not in neighborhoods, usually out in the middle of nowhere, but, you know.
But who are you gonna call?
Exactly.
Human Shavik.
What was the first part? What was that? You say human Shavik?
Did he say he was a human? I can't.
Yes, he is a human. He is confused why that's part of his title.
You wouldn't want to be, I don't know, Buster Shavik or anything like that.
No, I wouldn't. It's
Evil
not such a.
Buster Shavik.
I wouldn't describe it as busting in any. It's more putting to rest.
Right.
It's a calmer
Yes, of
thing
course.
than one might expect most of the time.
Oh, good. Oh, frightful experiences from it.
Here and there.
Oh.
One time a girl ended up on the ceiling. It was very strange.
Oh. How dramatic.
A bit. Anyway. Found some trinkets on the occasion of performing these rituals and collected some. That brim, He's decent at fixing these things up, a bit rough around the edges, but better with his hands than you'd expect from someone who's a bit of a ruffian himself. Found he could restore these things, sell them back to the churches, sell them to nobles who thought they meant more than they did, that kind of thing.
It's quite the market. Very specific.
Well, you do what you can to keep a church going in these days. Ruth's attention to the churches of the Four has been helpful in recent times, but people were still distrustful for a time.
I'm sure you mean well. You and Brim.
Well, I don't seek to speak for Brim. His motivations always lie toward money. But yes, I tried my best to help people and help the church. Father Gyat taught me. I thought he was doing the same.
Well, don't let his ulterior motives stray you away from a cause that is just, whether he is a part of it or not.
Pauses for a moment, then gives a nod. That's good advice. I'll try not to be too disheartened.
You can always learn something positive from a negative situation, I'm sure.
Indeed. But enough about me. What about your troop? What brought you to Tamliok? And he'll start trying to switch the conversation around. Give you a chance to talk.
How dare this guy try to chat me up? Where does he get
And you can, up to you how. We can gloss over that a little bit, but it's up to you to decide how truthful you are with him, what you tell him.
I want to tell him the most vague Spark Notes version of our story possible.
Okay.
That doesn't sound like a lie.
Okay. That's fair. That's fine. He's not a tough audience. He's just like nodding along to whatever you're comfortable saying. He doesn't press too much anywhere where you go kind of vague. He's just happy to listen to whatever you put down. And he's not trying to pry.
Are there star showers right now in the sky?
Go ahead and make another perception check. You think you see a couple of twinkles kind of like near the, close to the place where the mountain kind of like cuts the sky, but the mountains are pretty close. It's hard to see towards Tamliok much at the moment, and you don't see any in the kind of like wide sky around where you are now. If they are continuing, they're not targeted near where you are.
That's good. As a side question, how defensible does Tamliok look compared to, what was it, Kalmakort?
Well, it doesn't have an enormous green barrier over it. But, I don't know. It's set up where it is kind of like tucked into the mountains to be pretty defensible. There is a pretty good like funnel, kind of like leading up to the castle. It's like wooded, not very easy to kind of like stage and march an army. As for these moonflowers, it's a tougher question. You don't really know exactly what their physical traversal capabilities are, but
this brings me to another completely, I guess, not drastic. Does King Rurith know that the Star Shower means that the moonflowers are coming? Is that something that we should have tried to warn him about, or something like that, or like?
We can say that you mentioned it since you saw it while you were in town. That's fine. You can have forewarning.
Cool.
He mentions that they've like spotted moonflowers. They've seen this phenomenon further out, kind of at the periphery of the kingdom. So they're familiar, but it's good to know that this seems like a targeted thing. Okay. So he talks to you for a while, asks you questions for a while, and then you get towards the end of your watch, and nothing terribly notable has happened. It looks like he's gonna go to bed himself. Satisfied watching for the early part of the night, and I trust whatever you guys set up after that. Okay. After that is Isha. Isha, what do you do on your watch? And go ahead and give me a perception check just for general.
I am watching.
All right. Okay.
It's like I don't know if I have anything else to do other than to watch.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's what I do.
You see kind of off in the distance, kind of like in the valley between some of the hills, kind of out of the moonlight, you think you see kind of the movement of a shadow kind of like dart through a dark patch between the hills. You do not get a particularly good look at it, but it did look vaguely humanoid.
Are we sleeping? Do we have like a fire, or what's our sleeping situation like? That's actually something I need to know.
Up to you guys. Did you guys set a fire?
I would imagine that we would have some kind of fire for like cooking and preparing our like evening meal. But I would imagine that we'd put it out when we sleep, unless it's like particularly cold in this area. I didn't think that was the case.
It's getting like chillier as you kind of approach, but no, it's still decently warm here, I would say.
Yeah.
And more than that, a little bit drizzly and rainy sometimes, which isn't totally conducive to maintaining a fire.
Yeah, so I do think at some point we would have a fire, but Steris would recommend, from her lived experience, to put the fire out when we're sleeping. Flames should not be unattended.
Okay, if we don't have a fire, then I simply summon something.
Okay. And this is a decent distance away, so unless you have something to, I would say a good 50 feet away. But when you illuminate that, you know for sure that like nothing is within that torchlight. Whatever you saw moving does not approach closer.
Oh, this is not a creature. This is this is not like a torch. It is like literally a creature. So I just send the creature out.
Okay, I see.
This is a servitor.
Sorry,
I summon a servitor.
I was in a different
Yeah.
tab. Okay, interesting. Okay, stained.
be. I guess I just like summon a little rat. And just have the rat go look.
Okay. Let's see. And what does this let you? You don't like share senses with this or anything. You're just like sending it out to scout.
No. Yeah, but if they do kill it, my assumption is I would know because I
Right.
would simply feel like I no longer have to concentrate on the spell.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
It would
think
be
it's-
funny to also make the rat glow, but I'm not going to do that.
Okay. Let me just ask the dice. What happens?
Yeah, it's just like it's a -1 creature, so they have like 6 HP.
Yeah. I do think it like scurries into the dark. It's like looking around. I don't think you have any kind of psychic connection to it other than the fact that you were casting a spell and you like know that you're concentrating on it. So there is a moment after about 30, 40 seconds where suddenly, before you're done sustaining it, the connection is broken.
I guess I just. This is complicated now. It would be crazy to just fireball. Yeah, I guess I just keep looking around.
Okay.
I will wake Turkon, actually.
Wake me?
What
Turkon.
was going on? What?
There is something in the shadows. And then I just leave after waking him up.
My eyes just dart around everywhere, looking like which one?
Go ahead and roll a perception check yourself. Okay. You do not spot the something in the shadows that Isha mentioned.
Isha, where is it?
I like take one of my wings and I like point exactly where it was, like to where I sent my servitor.
Okay.
Alright, I'll focus in on that area. I'm sorry, I'm losing my voice. I'm a
No.
little sick.
I'm sorry. It works very well for Tired Turkon. Okay, so you start walking that way. Go ahead and just give me a perception check again, just because you know where you're looking now. You're venturing in that direction. Situation has changed somewhat. Okay. You are...
Am I getting all my bad rolls out of the way?
That wasn't a terrible roll. Maybe I should apologize about that. Unfortunately, you're not getting your bad rolls out of the way. But you're walking down that way. You're kind of looking around, and you think you see something move like off to your left. Not walk or run like a humanoid, but just like zip at the corner of your vision, like just out of sight. And you turn your head, and there's like nothing there.
Can I try to like jump on it?
It's not close enough for that.
Oh. Oh, so I'll try to stalk it and find it.
Okay. All right, go ahead and just, if you would like to try to find something to follow, you can give me like a survival check to try to follow it. Okay. Okay. I think you kind of like see some rustling in the tall grass in that direction.
Oh shit, it's a Pokemon.
That like doesn't match the wind, like it was disturbed by something else. And you kind of like stalk in that direction. And then you spot, not looking at you, but looking up towards camp, kind of like just barely peeking out of the grass, still a good 20 feet away, I would say, not terribly close. This kind of strange like cloud of inky black hair kind of floating around, kind of like a pale purple face with these sharp teeth and like red eyes that you just barely see in the dark. Just barely peeking out of the red grass. The red grass? The grass, the tall grass.
Oh, we fought one of these before, didn't we?
This matches
No.
the description
Nope.
of what Turris saw in his dream.
Ah, okay. Yeah, it looked familiar.
I knew I was having PTSD flashbacks, even though I'm not here.
And it was determined this thing's bad, yeah.
Yeah, it tends to like let's see, what did I say before? It feeds on fear, which is, I would say, not something a normally good creature would do. It tries to impose nightmares and fear to subsist upon, usually.
Well, then I'm gonna fucking hit it. Or try to.
Okay, go ahead and roll. Just roll your initiative to see if you can manage that, and you can roll it.
I have no token in this scene.
Oh, interesting. It should still let you. Weird. Is it just like straight up not letting you roll?
Yeah,
Oh, that's weird.
not for initiative.
Is your initiative the same as your perception?
Yeah, I can just do that.
Just roll your perception.
Okay. In this case, since you are like charging at it, it doesn't see you. I would let you roll like stealth or athletics in this case to see if you can just get there faster.
Oh, athletics, yeah. Athletics, please.
Okay. And it's just gonna roll perception as usual to see if it notices you in time.
Oh no.
Hero point it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Forgot how to do hero point stuff.
Just right click it and
Oh yeah, you can right click it and
roll
do.
the hero point.
Yep.
That's not letting me right click anything. Oh.
That is odd. Go ahead and you can just roll it again if you want.
Alright.
Oh, I should have waited
We'll
too.
take away the hero point.
Okay, it's even, and you have a higher bonus, so you go first.
Alright. Hit the shit out of it. After I rage, I guess. I'm gonna rage loud enough to hopefully wake everybody else up. Just like you yell at a battle roar, some kind.
Well, if they don't, because I'm watching you,
Yeah.
And I also have a roar that happens when I roll initiative.
You can roll initiative here if you like as well, Isha.
Mine is the same as my perception as well. So
Okay. Let me just. This isn't quite a battle map, but we'll just get everyone out here. I'll just get everyone in the initiative order if they want. Finish dealing with that in a second. Okay.
yeah, I just rolled my initiative to get myself into the initiative, but if you can just move me to the original one, that would be fine.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Oh, and when you get a moment, Varys, one of my
I'm EP.
weapons, the name has changed.
Oh, that's weird.
It's item.physical.generated name.
Interesting. I did update our stuff, so unfortunate that it broke that name.
It left my back to Corbin alone, thankfully.
I don't know what.
Yeah, that's my.
Oh, weird.
Change it to Bladed Gauntlets for a second there.
Yeah, I was like, it was actually just bladed gaunt.
It doesn't like Bladed Gauntlet. If I do Bladed Gauntlet, it changes it to that generated name thing. So we'll just leave it at Bladed Gaunt for now. Okay. And you are charging this thing, trying to hit this thing?
Yeah.
It. If I notice that Turkon is running at it, well, it's also demoralized. I did succeed against
Oh,
it.
okay. Alrighty. That's just fear, right? Frightened.
It is just frightened one, yes.
Oh, let me double check. Wow, not immune to fear. Immune to a lot of stuff. It ain't immune to that. All right.
Nice.
Okay, that is a hit. And a very good cut.
Am I close enough to do all 3 attacks, or did I have to use one to get up close to it?
You had to use one to close the 20 feet or so.
Okay.
I did forget to mention everyone has a bonus hero point today. Just
Ooh.
because I did the recap, I guess. I guess me doing.
Yay! Oh, that's how you're doing
Excellent.
it. You're not giving yourself a point? Okay.
I am. In this case.
I'll keep a hold of that other hero point for now.
Okay. All right.
And I can't move myself on the initiative track.
Okay. Oh, because I never begin combat.
In the beginner's box, you never ended the combat, and then in this one, you'll never start it.
Yeah. Okay, so this thing, like, lets out a shriek as you run up to it and slice at it. many actions is this? Many actions is that. Okay. I think... What is this? Okay. It's not good at that. Athletics. I think it will just try to slap you. It's just going to try to slap you for one.
You're rolling
I
secretly,
did
my
not
liege.
mean to do that, and I can't reveal it. It is a hit by 3. So its tendril kind of lashes out at you. Lashes across you in this kind of like... It almost burns. It almost feels like it's burning, and you look down at where it strikes you and where you think it cuts you, and it's actually just like... kind of sucked, like vacuumed off that fleshy layer of your skin where it hit you, and what's left over is like almost boiling in a way. And you kind of, your head swirls for a moment, and you almost feel like you see strange inky tendrils like growing out of where the wound is. And I need you to go ahead and give me a fortitude save versus Endless Nightmare.
This is where I would re-roll my fortitude save.
You absolutely can. You can use that hero point to be like, much better. You shake it off. Shake off this like vision of this like right as this purple tendril that you see kind of like growing out of that wound starts to like develop a head and like hisses at you. You shake your head, you shake out of it, and there's nothing there. There's just like the wound. So it does that. And then it is going to turn around with its other tendril and try to slice a hole in the air behind it. And do you have reactive strikes? I forget.
I do. I do
good,
have
good,
strikes.
good.
No disruptive stance, but maybe you'll just roll a nat 20.
This is how I lose my long-term annoyance to the party. I try to cast Dimension Door instead of just flying.
Oh my god.
Woo.
It missed the 20.
Alright, you can roll the damage.
Right.
It will,
Damn.
just as it is, it like flies forward to slide through that hole it has cut in the air, and you like slice through a goodly portion of its leg, and it kind of like detaches and spirals into like smoke, like a wisp of smoke behind it. It's like semi-corporeal fully. As this hole it has torn in reality kind of disappears behind it. And you hear the echo of the scream roughly 120 feet. It like you follow kind of where it flew into the portal, and you catch sight of it. Just like a black dot in against kind of the dark sky 120 feet away. It's like 80 feet over, some number of feet up. But it doesn't have an action
While
to...
I am fast while I'm raging, I'm not that fast.
120 feet is pretty good. I believe that battle roar... I'm just going to let everyone wake up to it. You don't have to roll perception. Brim and Kavik are stirring as well.
It's important to remember that it sounds like someone is grinding stones into a megaphone.
Great. So they stir, and they're actually like holding their hands to their ears, both of them. So seeing you like wake up with a start to that sound. So seeing you like wake up with a start to that sound.
It's me. Yes.
Sound? Oh, I thought the sound was the thing.
Well, first you
Sorry.
hear the gravel sand grind megaphone sound, and then you hear further off this like ghostly ethereal scream that sounds like the twins from the Matrix look. I guess you rolled high on your initiative, so I'm just gonna say that you like that is you and your big eye spotting this thing 100 and, well, it's probably like 160 feet away from you if it's 120 feet from Turkon.
Okay.
And you kind of follow the sound of
So-
the scream and you spot it in the air 160 feet away.
Is it like flying or is it just
Yes, it is flying. It is up in the air. It's a good 40, 50 feet in the air.
okay? And how far? You said like 150 feet from me?
160.
160. Lame.
And you are technically prone at the moment, so you'd have to stand up before you move anywhere. Well, or crawl, I suppose. Depends on how far you gotta move.
Okay. I would stand up, which is an action, right?
Yes.
Okay. I would stand up. Probably like look between Isha and this thing off in the distance. And just be like, I guess this is what we're doing. Good morning. And I'm gonna do Courageous Anthem.
All right. And what is the range on? Oh, yeah, 60 feet. Okay, so you're even hitting Turkon with this. You're hitting everyone. You consider Brim and Shavik allies.
Yeah, probably.
And they will.
He said right now, yeah.
I think at any given time, seen as like if you're not actively attacking us, you're an ally probably.
Okay.
Okay, and then I'll roll the lingering composition.
All right. That is, I believe, a critical success. I think. Hold on. Yep.
It should
It is.
be it should be 10 plus our level.
The DC,
Or I guess
the bi-level
yeah.
DC is 23, so it is a critical success.
Okay,
Right on a critical success.
nice. So everyone gets Courageous Anthem for 4 rounds.
Yes.
Oh, whoops. Stood up, cast that.
And then it will be. Oh, yeah, you have one more. Actually?
I think I have one more.
Yeah.
I like that we can still see this guy.
Which guy? The party?
The Nightmare, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. It hasn't tried to hide yet. It has only disappeared. It has only like teleported 120 feet.
Is Courageous Anthem? I think I've asked this before. Is it like an aura around me, or is it like I use it, everyone in the area is affected, and then I can move out of that area?
You use it and everyone around you is affected and you can move out of that area.
Okay. In that case, Scene would probably look to Isha and be like, are we going after this thing? Is it coming back?
If it was coming back, it would be running at us, would it not be? And then Isha will also point out that it's like missing a leg. I think it is fleeing for the time being.
Has Turris locked eye like identified what this thing is?
You wake up, you spot it. I would say yes. You in particular, you like spot it at this 160-foot distance from you. Because its red eyes like lock directly on yours, even from this distance. Before it kind of before it kind of turns its head and goes to flee.
Can I use my remaining action to like help someone up so they don't have to use?
Yep, you can reposition someone from floor to standing with that.
Okay. Who is like right next to me that I could do that to?
I'm not too picky. I'll let you pick anyone since we're in kind of a narrative fight here. This is a little bit gridless, so take your pick.
Hey. I will help probably Turris up. Yeah. Scene would like try to just like lift Turris up and help him up and just like point and be like, we're trying to get that thing. And then that will be
As he's like, do it. As Steris starts to take her turn, I'm curious. What does Armis think about this? What does Armis think about being left on the floor while you help Turris up?
okay. So
What
a
does
part of
Steris
my-
feel like being left on the floor?
There's that too.
Okay.
I
well,
just-
I was
I'm
like,
standing up.
That is a funny question.
Okay.
I'm just curious.
to-
I want to make Konnor talk to himself.
Yeah.
I see.
To defend myself, what I was thinking is like the Eidolon has like a shared connection. Does that mean that if I help Turris up, Armis also is like up?
Yes.
I was thinking it's like a 2-for-1, and I was like, I was also thinking Steris probably like, I don't know, Turris is more of like a physical fighter, I guess, and I was like, Steris might be able to do more with less.
Wow. I cast Fireball.
Okay. Damn.
See?
All right.
Oh.
It fails because of the
Hell
fear.
yeah.
Plus 18. Oh my god.
And you see it lit up. Really, you see the like this dark humanoid shadow and all of its floating hair, like silhouetted against this explosion that blasts in front of it, and hear another like echoing scream. Turris, you are yanked to your feet by Scene of Auction. And see this thing 160 feet away.
For the record, I always assume that Armis slept standing up if he ever slept at all.
I also
Armis
wasn't
needs
sure. He sure does. I also wasn't sure if Armis was even like summoned at the moment. And so also I feel vindicated by Steris's turn. So
I am glad you feel vindicated by me standing up and blasting it with a fire. You're welcome.
I said you could do more with less.
Oh.
I'm gonna warp step, and I'm just gonna zoom at him.
Sounds good. You're
I'm
zooming.
so glad we didn't actually pay for this fucking wand. Oh my god.
Still hasn't been able to
We
cast
would
Nightmare
just
on it.
kill it.
On Turris.
On it.
All right. So what does this make your speed? 30?
30.
Okay, so you are able to cast that and then yeet yourself 90 feet in that direction. If you spend all 3 actions moving, one of those moving with two of those moving with turret or Armis.
Yep, 2 of them are moving with Armis, and he's got 30 feet of movement, so he goes 60 feet.
Okay.
That's my
Really
turn.
important question. Do you warp step
Hmm?
before or after running with Armis? Like, do you leave him in the dust right
It's-
away, or do you?
It is inherently before. Technically, the first one is probably wild.
Okay. Armis would yell after you and be like, wait up.
Turris just turns into the Flash and runs at this. Oh my god.
You know,
Yeah.
they say
Oh.
you gotta face your fears. So I mean, how more
He's suddenly fearless. How
how more,
brave.
how more facing can I get other than?
Running at it.
Okay. Well, I am not going to fireball it out because I frankly don't have any faith in my attack roll or my saving throws. So what I will just do is I will just laser beam it instead.
Okay.
There you go.
28 does hit.
This is not a fiend, right?
That is not one of its tags now. All right.
Yeah, and then I guess I will move my full movement,
Actually,
which is about a third of the way there.
Okay. It's such a cool visual to have like Steris highlight this thing like silhouetted against inside the fireball, and then Isha like blasts a fire beam directly at that pinpoint spot 160 feet away.
Yeah, also I was talking about this, the contrast of like a raging fireball and like the soft golden light
Yeah.
that is just what all of Isha's spells look like.
Like refined version of my flame.
Turkan, I think it'll be you next. What is your general plan of action? This thing's 120 feet away from you in the air. We'll call it 40 feet up, so I stop waffling.
One sec. I need to remember how far this thing goes. So I can dash 2 times, yeah. Or I can do all 3.
Yes, you can use all 3 of your actions to run.
Yes.
Okay, well I'm gonna. I guess I could use that.
Okay. Worth
And
noting.
it'll take me 100,
Let's see.
110 feet.
Gain fly speed if you're into the end of your next turn. Okay. So this technically, like, it eats one of your actions to activate the wings. So it will.
Yeah.
It'll get you.
Oh my god,
8.
he's so fucking fast.
He is real fast.
No. Yeah, that's 110 feet.
Okay, yeah. So you pop the wings and you fly 110 feet. Yeah,
Jeez.
you get within 10 feet of it.
It's doing one of those anime, like, jumping off the ground really fast and all the dirt just, like, parts away.
Yeah.
It's a little
Holy.
sonic boom.
Does your weapon have reach?
A little sonic boom.
I think it does, actually.
Oh my fuck. All right.
That thing thought it was safe.
So on its turn, It tries to, like, it gets fireball blasted, and it's going to try to dive and get out of line of sight. The problem is, your Becta Corbin is within reach of it.
It is no longer frightened, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, the frightened ends on my turn.
All right. So it does trigger your opportunity attack when it, like, dives out of the air. And you hit it.
I'll just imagine it hitting it over the top of the head.
Yeah, like, geez. It spirals a little bit and, like, takes a moment to kind of catch itself in the air and start flying again. But it is going to duck behind the hills to get out of direct line of sight of the party. Turkon, you can still see it. But basically, it is now roughly 240-ish feet away from where the party started. This is getting complicated. It dives out of direct line of sight of the party, though.
I'm always going to take it as a win when the Dungeon Master says, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Real.
So, Seed of Auction, you see this thing dive out of the air. You have not moved, right? Yeah, you have not moved yourself. So you are now roughly 160. It's not quite 120. It's now like 260 feet away from you, but you can't see it anymore.
Okay. Do I know the general like area that it's at?
You know the general area, yes.
Cool. I'm gonna warp step.
All right.
Oh my god.
I love how this just became a race.
This is a chase now.
Everyone is just like, I'm warp stepping. I'm running. I'm running 200 miles per hour.
I'm gonna move 60 feet. And then after that 60 feet, I'm gonna time jump.
Wow.
I'm gonna go another 60 feet.
Okay. Wow.
So you make up half the distance.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get to the other side of the hill. You just zoom like down the hill, up the next hill, and you see it again, kind of like kind of zipping along this river valley, like right above the water now.
Okay. That's my turn.
Stara sees it fly away and Scene go with it. She'll just kind of drop her hand, drop her magic, and shrug.
And
And Turkon's over there too.
Turkon and Turther do the same fucking thing.
It's like, I'm gonna let them. They got this.
That's fair. That's your all right.
Yeah.
Turris.
I love this idea that Turris is just running, and every time he gets out of like the range of Armis just like teleports behind him. Like you're abandoning your like escort or something. Your escort keeps teleporting to you.
There's some visual glitching going on right now for everyone else.
All right. What do you do, Turris, on your turn? Last turn you zoomed a good 90 feet yourself. Basically, Scene just caught up to you, I suppose. So I think you are still in line of sight of this thing.
How far is it away from me right now?
It is, you moved 90 feet. It was 160 feet away. Math. It was, that would equal to 70, and then it flew another 120-ish, but not quite. So it's probably like 150 feet away from you.
Is it up in the air, or is it like gliding along the ground?
Now
right
it's gliding along the ground. It is over a river, over the stream now.
Mm. Hmm. Should I just keep running at it? How far do I run until I run into the river?
It's not like cutting you off. It's like you can run parallel to it. Like the river is moving east, it is running east. So the river is not like in your way at the moment. But for purpose of answering the question, if you like run straight at this thing for about 40 feet, you'll be at the stream.
Hmm. You know, I'm gonna move 25 feet, and I'm gonna send Armus after this thing.
Okay.
After I use Evolution Surge.
Oh my goodness.
I'm giving him an extra 20-foot bonus to his speed for 1 minute.
Okay. All right.
And so he's gonna have 50 feet of movement.
All right. So you cast this, and Armus just also goes like.
So he's gonna have 50 feet of movement.
All right. So you cast this, and Armus also goes like. Clanking.
Cut out, or is it me?
Uh-oh. Can you hear me? Can everyone hear me?
Cut off for me too.
Oh no, my internet.
Uh-oh. Oh.
My internet dipped pretty bad for a moment. I think I'm back.
Yeah.
You
I mean,
sound
we
good
we
now.
understand. You were narrating the.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
zoomed. He zoomed.
He's got the perfect 90-degree sprinting arms right now.
Exactly, yes.
So basically, I'm gonna use Act Together to cast that. While I cast that, he catches up to me, and then he zooms past me as we use what is it? Tandem movement for my last turn.
Exactly. Awesome. Okay.
This creature is gonna run us all the way back to Temel.
Where we came from. Yeah, literally. Oh, Ogwen's gonna be so happy to see us.
All right, Isha, it is your turn.
It's so far away. It is so fast. I don't think you guys So it's 180 feet away from me.
Yeah. You are, judging by how it's moving, you think you are technically faster than it, but it can fly.
Well, if it flies up, that's actually a loss in movement. So I guess I just run after it. So I run 120. I run till I can see it, which is I'm within 60 feet.
Okay.
Wait, 45 times 3. It's a little more than. It's like. My brain turned up. I have 135 movement, so it's
Okay.
a little more than 120. Okay.
Turkon, I believe you still have your flight this turn.
Is it flying away or is it on the ground?
And right now, it kind of dive bombed towards the ground again.
Okay.
If it,
Well, as long as I end up on the ground at the end, I guess I'll
yeah, it.
fly down after it.
Okay. Specifically, it is flying over the stream. It's good, like 10 feet up over the stream. So.
If I attack it with my tail, can I grapple it?
Yeah, that's what the tail's for. You can definitely do that.
Okay.
I guess technically you need to try to grapple it with the tail. You can't attack it. Let me double check if the tail has. I don't think it has like any kind of auto grapple. You can use it to grapple, but it doesn't like automatically grapple on an attack. You'd have to successfully grapple it.
So I just rolled normal strike, right?
You roll athletics. And if the tail had any runes on it, you could get like item bonus to your grapple, but it doesn't at the moment.
It actually does just provide +2 bonus to grapple.
Oh yeah, you're right. It's in the yep. Yep, and that is. Oh, if it was still afraid, that would have been a critical success on the grapple, but it's only a regular success, so it is grabbed. Okay, but then you fall out of the air.
Well, that would have been. Do I need to take 2 turns to get to it still?
It would have been
How far away from it is me?
It was basically exactly 120 feet away again. So I guess.
But we're barely off the ground, right?
Yeah. So I guess
I'll
technically.
just bring it down with me.
All right. You can try. I think it's going to get like a free escape attempt here, just because it's like forced movement.
Yeah.
I think technically, it would be broken from the grapple normally, but we're gonna give it the escape attempt instead. It's going to try to escape with acrobatics. It's just going to try to slip from your grip. And this will be against your athletics DC, I think? Is that correct? That might not succeed.
It probably doesn't succeed.
Oh my shit.
It looks.
I've got
It
a
looks
plus
like his.
17.
Yeah, it looks like his DC is 27.
Oh no! It's gonna try again. It's gonna try again. This is at a -5. Oh my lord.
Well,
That
I'm
is
sorry, Varys.
technically a critical fail to escape. I don't think that does anything.
It means it can no longer escape.
Okay.
This
Nope.
turn.
It is going to instead kind of look at you, and it's going to try to cast a spell on you. It needs to roll a flat check, and it triggers your attack, your opportunity attack, if you want.
I'll
They're like
hit it.
fighting in the water.
Yeah, you are. For the record,
just
you did
splash
splash into the stream. It's not that deep, so I think you're like getting cut up on the rocks a little bit in the struggle. Oh, okay. So it will cast the spell, unless you.
Yeah, do I have enough room to use my back to Corbin, or do I have to use my fist?
Well, however
Well,
you
you're
want to
gonna
do
use-
it. However you want to do it. But you do have enough room to
Oh no, I'm
snag
gonna
with the
keep
back
using my
to Corbin.
hammer if I can.
Yeah, it's a little. Yeah. It is certainly awkward, but not awkward enough to give you a penalty. Okay.
Dang.
Thank God.
Do you not have another hero point?
No.
Damn. Damn.
All right. It's gonna try to put you asleep. And I need you to make a will save.
We'll save.
Technically, it's a
Oh no!
Con
Definitely sleeping.
Can I give him? Can I give him my hero point?
Can I give him my
Not-
hero?
In this case, I don't think. I don't unless you have a
Varys
clever
is very lenient, but this is
a clever-
specific.
and you can't. Well, yeah. Unless you have a clever way to help him from how many ever feet away you and Armus are. I don't think so.
It is okay. This creature cannot move this turn.
Yes, it is out of actions.
Yeah.
But Turkon, you fall asleep underwater.
Can we style it as me falling asleep but falling on top of it so it's pinned under me? That's why I can't leave this turn.
That's why I can't move.
Yeah, that works. It's struggling this entire turn to
Oh.
get away from you.
Wiggle out under.
Scene, go ahead. They have fallen into the water. You know approximately where, but they are technically both concealed from you.
Okay, like how deep is the water? Also, how
It's
far?
not extremely
Also,
deep.
you do so. Also, it's important. You can spend an action to like continue concentrating on time jump right now.
Oh, I can.
Good to know.
Yeah, it's a concentrate spell.
I didn't know that. All I
Yeah.
knew is that.
So if you concentrate on it, you can get 2 free strides or climbs, or flies or swims. It's an action
Yeah.
spell. It's very good.
That's sweet. Yeah, I'll do that. So I'll move another 60 feet towards it.
Okay.
Can I see it?
You know precisely where they both are. You can see these kind of like shadows in the water. It's just concealed by the water, which just means to target either of them without a seek action, you'll have to pass a flat check of 5.
Okay. I have a question.
Yeah.
If I try to use the spell slot to target them and I don't get the flat 5, does it use my spell slot?
Correct. The spell goes off and like fizzles. Doesn't target anything. If it's an area spell,
Okay.
you don't need to target.
Okay, but that's probably not a great idea since Turkon is there.
Turkon is also asleep, and it is possible that if you hurt him, he might wake up.
You know, maybe the concealment is enough that Scene doesn't know that Turkon's asleep.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I thought it wasn't a
How
very
far-
shallow river, though.
It's a decently
How
shallow
far am I
river.
from?
It's also dark.
How
It's
far am
also
I
still
from them?
Another 60 feet of movement.
Ferris is not writing down the movements.
I've moved 240 feet. I think initially you said I was like 260.
You move 240 feet. You're about
You're about 120 feet away.
yes.
Perfect.
Okay.
I'm gonna try and.
Perfect.
Oh.
Oh
Uh-oh.
my god. I can't believe the living
Uh-oh.
nightmare is about to see a vision of its own death. This is funny on multiple levels. Okay.
It is hilarious on multiple levels.
Okay, so I have to roll a flat.
Correct. Yes.
Oh.
Yikes. So is that just a D20?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
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 So you do
let's fucking
succeed.
go.
It also succeeds, so it will take half damage, but it will be frightened one again,
That's
It's
okay.
oh my god, frightened one. I love fright.
which it is
Fuck
not
you.
pleased about, for sure. What the fuck? That's so much damage.
Oh my god! What the?
You see it like writhe in the water, but it is
Dude.
still moving.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that's That's my turn.
Right.
Steris is making s'mores at camp.
Yeah.
Like literally just I'm watching the horses.
Sha-
She's like
yeah. Shavik just like
calming them down.
walks over, like scratching the back of his head with one hand, the other hand on his hip, like looking sleepy. He's like, what's all this then? There is, go ahead, I guess.
How far away is my two now?
You
We
can
are
get...
both 60 feet away.
Yeah. So I think Armus can get there in 2 moves. Yeah, Armus can get there in 2 moves and just like jump in the water and be within melee range.
That's what he's gonna do.
Okay. I don't remember if summoners can like give up a 3rd action to their Eidolons by like commanding. Is that a thing?
No.
Okay. Okay, but he
What do
isn't.
you mean? Like he can use all 3 of my actions, can he?
I'm not super
Yeah,
smart on summoners.
you and the Eidolon are like the same character. So like the only way that you command your Eidolon is by like your Eidolon, you can just give your Eidolon 3 actions.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like that also means you lose all of your actions. There's not like the only like command and Eidolon thing is like the tandem movement, like
Yeah.
the synergy spells.
Yeah. So first action is gonna be tandem movement. We both move together. I do find it insanely funny. Wait, hold on. I can just tandem movement twice, can't I?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And then you can just use act together. Oh, yeah. So you can move him twice, and then you can just act together and
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah.
yeah, because act together can be 1 action.
Yeah, act together is 1 action, and then you get. Is act together 1 action? It
It's
is.
1
Oh my
action.
god, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So he will take an action in the form of 1 action, and then I will also take a single action.
Okay. And so yeah, you can tandem movement twice, and then you can act together, and your Armus could do whatever he wants to the nightmare.
Boy, howdy is he. He gonna punch that. He gonna re-roll that. Are you kidding me?
Oof.
I mean, I do have 2 hero points this round. What did I want to do with tourist though? How close is ignition? Where is it? He's in water. Is he gonna have any resistance to a fire attack if he's in water? Does that count?
He's already like resistant to fire.
Yeah.
Also, so.
I don't think so. I don't think there would be any kind of stacking resistance here.
What about acid? Is he resistant to acid?
We don't know.
Is he directly on? Can I hit him with caustic blast without? Oh no, that's a 2 action. Yeah, never mind. Actually, Turris's action is literally just gonna move a 3rd time to catch up to everyone else.
Okay.
While also kind of staying, like keeping everyone else between him and the creature.
I just realized that the sleep spell doesn't make creatures drop what they're holding, which I assume also includes grapple.
It's very weird because like, can you just drop concentration at any point? Like, can you? It's very, the fiction of what is happening is weird right
Yeah.
now because he's unconscious, but technically the grapple doesn't end until he stops concentrating it on the beginning of his turn.
Right. Which that'll happen before the
And
creature's
then-
turn anyway, but you know.
Yeah, the fiction is just very weird here.
It is.
Where mechanically, like, the rules of the game are like struggling to contain what the fuck is happening.
It's fine.
Can I use my second hero point to reroll a second time for the melee, or is there a limited one
You can only
per
reroll
action?
once per. Yeah, correct.
Okay, then that's my turn.
Okay. You should go ahead.
Well.
That's a river. It's a river.
It is a river. I guess I run over. I jump into the water and I wake up Turkon.
Okay. All right. Turkon, go ahead and give me just a perception check to wake up.
Slap him with a fish.
This is we have 8, and I don't know what. Yeah, I think you probably wake up if you're in a river being woken up by. Yeah, that's fine. You wake up.
Still grappling. Sweet.
Yeah.
And then I time skip him.
Oh my god. Like you guys want to kill
Man.
this creature or something.
Weird.
All right.
And yeah, I'm next. I'm close. So I will end my turn.
Okie dokie.
End my turn.
Turkon. You're still holding your weapon. You are still holding this creature, and you are awake.
Slam.
Nice.
Is it still alive?
Negative.
Nope.
So you slam Becta Corbin into this thing, and it, for a moment, seems like it manages to pull itself out of your grasp as you hear this, like, scream underwater. It, like, pulls itself loose, but that is because its bottom half has turned into smoke, and its whole form just, like, unravels and disperses into the stream around you. And it is dead.
Then I stand up from the river, drenched, stinking like a wet cow.
Oh,
Oh,
Say the battle is done, and just start walking back to camp.
smelly.
Smelly.
Smelly. Stinky.
Stinky.
smelly smell.
Isha sticks around a little bit to see if she can find anything in the river related to the nightmare. Of an
Also
animate dream.
same.
Yeah, go ahead and roll a perception check just to look around a little bit.
A no to ring something.
Yeah, you do in fact find something like right in the mud, right where Turkon was just standing, where that creature ended. Just like on top of all of the silt, you find a strange trinket, a holy symbol, almost like, well, identical to the one that Giat was carrying that was disguised as a symbol of the Shade of Death, but then turned into a symbol of the Seraph.
I'm sure that this will be eventually useful. I throw this to. I'm like holding it in my paws, and then I put it in my wings, and I toss it to Turris, and I say, "Think fast," and throw it.
Try to catch it.
Okay.
And then I head back.
Take a look at it. Have I seen this before?
I think Giat's was described to you guys. I kind of think that's the only one precisely like this that you've seen. It matches some of like the iconography that you guys saw in the moonlit pools area, but the only like holy symbol like this that you've seen, I think.
Did you say Shavik had something like this too, or is it just because he had the symbol of death necklace? Like it looked like a symbol of death necklace, and then it turned, or
that was
does it look
Giat's.
even more
Yes.
similar? Oh,
Shavik doesn't outwardly wear any holy symbol, from what you can tell.
oh, okay. I thought you said it. Oh, okay. I see.
He does like I don't know. Yeah, you remember him maybe wearing a necklace, but whatever is at the amulet end of that is like tucked under his traveling cloak.
Right. Obviously, I can't tell if it's the exact same, but I guess I'd bring it back to like Steris and see if she thinks it's the exact same one or just one exactly like it. One very close like it, I should say.
Rub my eyes and look at it. Like, I'm assuming there's multiples if they're all part of the same group. I doubt it's the exact same one.
It's not literally the same one, but it is like
Okay.
close enough.
Yeah.
Like it's not the same physical.
Unless
I thought I'd ask the dice. It's not the same physical object.
Yeah, I'd imagine that Ogwyn kept that one when they took that creature into custody. Seems clearing out their little horde in Tamliok wasn't the end of it.
Is Shavik around right now?
Yeah, he's rooting around.
He's with me and the horses.
Yeah.
I spent the time you guys went running off. I calmed our horses down. Got our camp all squared away after all the waking up and panic. And yeah, we've been yapping. Well, he's probably been yapping to me, and I've been listening, is what I imagine. But...
Yeah, exactly. You've been like, he's been asking what's going on, and yeah, mostly yapping at you to try to figure out what's up.
Exactly.
Well, if Shavik doesn't think anything is too suspicious from what Steris said, Steris will continue on and say thanks, and then pocket the item.
Yeah, Steris very specifically does not mention name.
Okay. Yeah. guess, you know what, you were looking over that. You find on the back of that holy symbol, like, a small runic inscription that, like, runs down the back of it. Steris.
What does it say?
I will point it out to Turris and then try to decipher it? Question mark? Arcana? Question mark?
Sure.
I'll help.
Yeah. This is not dissimilar to the sending stone that you guys found. It's got a very similar enchantment to that. You kind of like hold the runes on the back, and then you are able to cast sending to some paired device. Some similar magic object that would receive the sending and give it to whoever is wearing that object.
We know if it uses our own voice or not?
I believe sending is recognizable. Yeah. It's not really in the flavor, but it would use your own voice, I suppose. Whatever your inner monologue sounds like.
What if my inner monologue sounds exactly like that animate dream?
You could try it. You could try to disguise it.
I thought we determined that you don't have an inner monologue. I thought I wrote that very specifically in one of my notes. I have to go look now.
Any monologue inside the tower is an inner monologue as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, yeah.
Fair,
He just doesn't
fair.
know the difference.
Exactly. Like the
can't
difference between using
discern
my...
Got
Just randomly picks a different voice every time. Very difficult to determine inside voice versus outside voice.
Yeah. You guys explained inner monologue, and he's like, but this body doesn't, their thoughts, that's not where words don't come from this body's head. It's
Yeah, I wrote in my notes
head empty.
from session
Head empty.
on May 3rd. Turris has no internal monologue, learning how to mind shield by repeating a phrase mentally.
Right.
Interesting. That's so funny. Anyway, tangent aside. Putting that together, seeing those runes, knowing what it does, Steris will take out her I have a dagger. She's gonna try to kind of strike through the runes to them unable to function.
Yeah, you know what these...
Unless Turris stops her.
Yeah, I would stop her just asking, kind of like, shouldn't we wait to see if somebody tries to send to this to see who the other person might be? Is there any... Does it put us in jeopardy for this to continue working?
No more dangerous than it is to have Isha pulls out the sending stone she has and also the one that you have.
Yeah. I think we should keep a hold on it just in case, just to see if the receiver betrays any sort of information.
Steris will kind of hold it out to you to take. Like, if you're not ready to be parted from that, sir, I understand. Take it.
Very good, thank you.
All right,
Take
and then we
it.
get 100 EXP. Nodders.
Nodder,
will-
nodders.
level after this session. So I think technically. technically that creature alone only awards about 50, but you are going to level after this session.
But we also managed to avoid the ambush,
Correct.
which is also with 50 XP.
Mhm.
Yep.
And the nightmare was not about killing the nightmare. It was about avoiding the nightmare getting information.
So bonus EXP.
That's what I'm saying. You guys are going to level.
Do we know if this is? Do we know anything about animate dreams in terms of when it's quote unquote killed? Is it dead? Does it just disperse and go to another realm, like a demon or devil or whatever, or is it like
I believe.
kind of gone back to immaterium in some way?
Let's see. Just taking a quick read.
It is theoretically possible that it can return to the Dreamlands if it is a creature that is from there, but I don't know if they are or not.
It is a creature that is from the Dreamlands. It doesn't say anything about like returning there when it dies. They definitely fade away when they don't feed enough. Being physically killed, you're not totally sure, but it is not easy or predictable for them to get here in the first place. You guys know that they kind of like follow dreamers back from nightmares that they will like wake up to try to escape. So it's like, it's not a exact science to leave the dreamland and come here. So even if it did return to the dreamlands, it's unlikely that it would return here again.
So if it was messing with my head beforehand, it was close by, essentially, like physically close by to do that?
More or less. Casting Nightmare is a planetary range, so it could have cast Nightmare. Knowing your name, it could have cast Nightmare anywhere on the planet, but it is no longer on the planet, so it cannot reach you with that spell anymore.
Let's go. Next question, both in and out of character. If it could do that anywhere, why the heck would it try to get within physical range of us?
Well, you were immune to it last night, right? And then immune to it tonight.
Yeah.
So to invade your nightmares, it's not around
needed to like physically be there.
It's not around for you to question, but it has telepathic capabilities, and it can invade nightmares when it can like touch a victim's body to get into their mind, get into their nightmares. So even though you're immune to the nightmare spell, if it could have like physically touched you, it could have inflicted more nightmares, manipulated those dreams, and gotten the information it was looking for.
Makes sense.
Which is why it was skulking around camp, and why it is very good that Isha hit a... Was it Isha? Yeah, Isha hit a plus 20, or hit the 28 DC on its stealth.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I rolled an 18.
Correct.
God damn.
So.
That's a big roll for me. I was like, I'm only trained in perception. That's fucking hard.
Yeah. Yep. The other rolls were not close and not good.
Well, I'll sleep a little easier tonight, knowing that I quite literally faced my fears.
Well, I think we all will, knowing that that thing is gone. And I'll like clap you on the shoulder. Shavik will. He does not sound terribly reassured. He, in fact, sounds like he's going to sleep worse than he already was.
He he learned the thing I'd been fearing this whole time. That traveling with us is actually worse for him than traveling without us.
And as you guys bed back down for the last bit of the night, and Scene goes to take his watch, Scene would hear an argument to that effect between the two. We lost a
Oh, he got garage
Yeah.
doored again.
Somebody open the garage door.
They're back.
The garage door opens, the internet tube closes.
Yep.
Only enough tubing for one of them.
I hate it when cars take all the bandwidth.
Man, I better not be driving a Tesla right now. I'm gonna riot.
Anyway, so you do hear an argument to that effect, Scene, of just Brim saying this isn't worth it. This isn't worth it. They're too much trouble. We go our own way. And Shavik reassuring him and saying no, I think this is still a safer way to travel. Things like that floating around.
Yep. Floating around.
Scene would wait a minute or two and then approach them and do the thing of physically going between the two of them and putting his arms, I guess, around both of their shoulders and be like, what are we talking about here?
Brim gives you a stare, just a cold stare, he's just very displeased, but he gives you this stare.
Oh.
Scene will stare back and move his face or his eye closer and tilt his head down. So he's just staring very intently.
He turns that stare to Shavik and he's like, this is exactly what I'm talking about. They can't keep to themselves. Need to get into our business. Should go our separate ways. And Shavik, again, is just we're just having a bit of a disagreement about the best way to continue our travel.
Scene would cut off before letting Shavik respond and be like, whoa. I was just checking in. I was just seeing how you're doing.
He wrinkles his nose a little more, and that crease between his cheek and his mouth just gets deeper.
You don't have to be so uptight. You can be, and Scene's whole body will start to wiggle and jiggle, and he'll be like, you can just be loose.
He's gonna grab the arm that you had around his shoulder and try to throw it off. And he's like, it's my job to be uptight.
Have you considered a new career?
And he shoots a glare at Shavik, and he's like, recently, yeah.
Ooh.
Scene turns to Shavik and does the get a load of this guy meme. The thumb pointing over the shoulder and just as being annoying.
Shavik just kind of levels a look at Brim for a moment and just kind of sighs. It's nothing to worry about. We'll sort ourselves out and maybe we'll continue on, maybe we'll go our own way.
Scene will pat both of them on the back and just be like, you guys can do what you want. I just was, like I said, I I was just checking in, just wanted to see how you're doing, especially after that last attack. You know, it might be a little scary for that guy over there, and you'll point to Brim.
He like snorts and like turns to go fiddle with the cart. Not really doing anything in particular, just looking for an excuse to get away from you. And Shava kind of sighs again. Please don't poke him further. He's a very severe man, serious man, but he's good at his job.
Scene will blink and just like look at him and be like, sorry, what's his job?
Be the muscle. Get things where they need to go,
And,
that kind of
what-
thing. Be paranoid. It's his job.
That must be awful for his health. You know what they say about stress.
Well, I can tell you that he doesn't sleep terribly well, so you are probably correct.
And what about you?
Me, I sleep fine.
He Scene would like cut himself off and be like, not the sleep thing. I'm like, what do you do?
My job was to find trinkets. Aside from my job, exercising, haunted sites, and that sort of thing. Find these trinkets, identify them. I'm a little good with the divine magic. Not terribly good, but a little good. And handle the business dealings. As I'm sure you can tell, Brim is a bit severe for that.
Scene would nod. Yeah, I would not want to do business with that guy. And let me tell you, I've done business with a lot of characters.
That's why it's his job to get the items where they're going, and my job to make the exchange.
Scene will nod more. Well, you said you're good with divine magic. Maybe you and Isha should have a talk. And Scene will pat him on the shoulder and walk away.
Which one is Isha? Which one's Isha?
Scene will, just as he's walking,
Point to the sleeping pile of black fabric.
I was gonna say, Scene would just shout the sand over his like. I mean, I guess he doesn't have a shoulder. He just is. Yeah, Scene would just shout like the pile of sand.
Just fully rotates like up into the left. Right. I look forward to the conversation with the sand. He turns and starts going back to bed. A couple of hours later, everyone has gotten their rest, finished their rest. And a little bit longer than it would have been. But everyone can, like, restore their spell slots and everything as they wake up and start getting themselves together.
I can't believe I had to reinstall Discord.
Yeah, that was wild. That was wild.
It was just
Raj,
fine.
taking much from you.
It was fine, and then it was just like, this app does not exist anymore, and I was like, huh?
We got a picture of Brim. Do we got a picture of Shavik?
Stand by.
Oh.
Don't show that picture to Sarah. She'll start to flirt with him. She'll be like, your eyes are freaky like mine.
Stop. I'm not the right character to flirt right now. That's not Steris. But his eyes are freaky like mine.
I told you so.
He seems very.
He seems really into, his partner over here. There's no room for me in that dynamic.
Brim would agree.
They were roommates.
They were roommates.
Hey, scene made room. You can.
Wedged them.
Yeah.
If anything from this exchange, you've
Record?
learned that it's actually they would make really bad roommates. Brim Brim has not a lot of patience for Shavik.
It's
Stop.
It's haters to lovers. It's her favorite trope.
Enemies to love.
We'll see. We'll see where it goes. Maybe you guys can guide them there.
Scene will be the matchmaker.
I'll make a note. Oh my goodness.
Anyway, so you guys wake up, you make your daily morning preparations, break down camp, and you can start to depart. You will get to this fort again, like probably halfway through the day. Do you guys want to leave the horses and the carriage there? How do you want to handle it? You know that it gets rough after that, and you know that you'll be traversing mountains soon.
Well, we can go to the church, or we can go to this camp, and we can open the door, and then we can take the horses and the carriage to the tower. We can see what the fuck is happening in there, and then we can leave. Question mark from there.
Okay.
Dismiss the door and.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
Worst case scenario, maybe we can. Well, we can put all the horses. We have a stable at the tower. Never mind.
Yes.
We're good.
Yes.
And a guy to take care of the horses.
I forgot we did that. Yes,
Did I-
I forgot that we decked out the tower to accommodate all of this growth.
Did I tell you who?
No.
Okay.
Pahu said I did it, and I was like, thank God someone did.
Okay.
Well, because for a second Turris was like, Luca, you do it. And Luca was panicking.
That is true. It is a catfolk with a surprisingly well-trained bear. A catfolk named Havesa with a surprisingly well-trained bear.
Oh, the bear is new.
You guys traded her a bear.
Oh my God, we
captured
did
the bear
trade
with
her a
her.
bear.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember that. Vesa and the bear. I was like, wait, I know this bitch.
She arrived
I know her name.
very confident that she could handle the many-legged critter. And then someone showed her the ethereal dragon inside the castle, inside the tower. And she was a little less sure about that.
Real.
Like, this is okay, this is gonna be actual work, I guess. Asilia is not back yet. Other than that, nothing too much has changed at the tower in the last 2 days.
Okay. Eincrad, do you have the collar?
Did she say collar or
Collar, yes.
like
the choker that they were trying to put on Rurith.
oh yes, of course.
Can I see it?
Very well. Then he pulls it out, hands it over.
I run it over to Luca.
And what's this thing?
Nah. I need you to learn how to make these. I need you to understand its components. And these inscription upon metal that prevents and dampens. My assumption is divine magic. But I'm not going to put it on. For fear that it will, well.
Yes, you never know with these things. It could seal itself on. Who knows how easy it is to get off. Certainly it should be designed to be hard to get off. I'll take a look. I might need some magical help, but I'll see if I can figure it out.
Isha bows and leaves. And then she runs back to Eincrad and is like, thank you.
You're welcome. What did you do with it?
I intend to recreate the collar. If someone made it, it certainly means that it can be recreated.
Could be a powerful tool, but I am thinking of using it for anything in particular.
On the 4. Isha's talked about this before. Right? That's still the plan?
It is indeed my plan.
Turris gives a, oh boy, all right, and kind of look, and he doesn't do anything to dissuade any of the ideas or these thoughts, but he's like, well, good luck there, I suppose.
Well, we know that the 4 are the only ones who know anything of the Seraph. And we don't know what state the 4 will be in. As much as I loathe the idea of placing something like this on such a being. If it means saving the world.
Would you hate putting this on such a being as the one that hunts us? I think you wouldn't. I think you'd jump at the opportunity.
I sure would.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Then how can you judge me for doing so?
The 4 are actively after you. Didn't we determine they've been locked away? Isn't there a difference?
Only if you forgive the people who killed your family.
I'm not saying having these collars recreated is a bad idea. Still working through the nuance of what it all means. But all of this feels like it pales in comparison to the overarching goal of trying to... So, despite my reservations, we push forward.
Is this conversation happening at the tower or after you guys come back to the fort?
Well, my assumption is that this is like in the courtyard.
Courtyard of the tower.
Like, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like Stairs kind of overheard this exchange between Isha and Aincrad and then chimed in once Aincrad made the comment.
Okay. So, is that everything you guys do at the tower?
I don't have anything more to say.
Okay. When you guys come back to the fort, Shavik and Brim are still milling about. Shavik looks, where do you draw the door?
Oh, yeah.
Somewhere completely inconspicuous.
Okay.
Until all of us come walking out of
Well.
the conspicuous spot.
and walk in with horses in a cart and come back without.
I think it's a tough call to say we're being conspicuous right now.
Shavik is definitely a bit nosy about your guys' activity in the fort. You can try to tell him off and like throw him off before you open the door if you like.
In our conversations, has he betrayed any sort of like ulterior motive at all so far? Like even any slight like in like normal conversation along the way or anything like that? Kind of.
Sounds like you might want to make a roll. See what you think.
Yeah. Hey, more even, Brim.
Brim's giving away a lot.
True.
Point A, doesn't like you guys. Point B, doesn't want to be traveling with you guys. I mean, he's kind of initially traveling with you guys with the ulterior motive of having easy travels. I would say
So in this can we talk about what's occurring in this perception check? Is this just like Turris thinking about what he's seeing, or is he like actively doing something in conversation to like determine something here?
It would be kind of like one of those things, like as we spend more time with them, like just kind of look for any subtle cues of anything that doesn't line up or any ulterior motives in talking, and then if there is anything of the sort, kind of like delicately push on it just to see if the reaction seems genuine or it's trying to cover anything up, if that makes sense.
got you. So you guys kind of probably discussed it, and you know that he has flatly ignored Brim's advice of like, hey, we should go our own way from these guys. I don't think it's actually safer to be with them. He's like totally tossed that aside. And he keeps saying that it is, and you are not totally convinced that that is still an earnest reason why he wants to stick by you guys. Like with how much Brim wants to leave now after the living nightmare thing. He seems so convinced that it's still safer to travel with you guys, so unquestioning about it, that it doesn't come across as totally genuine anymore, if that makes sense.
Wonder if is that something I probably like? Okay, so order of events. We got to this where is it?
Fort.
Yeah, the fort here. Kind of posted up, and tourists would kind of go find somewhere in the fort to draw the door. Essentially, that's kind of inconspicuous.
I'm sorry, I just realized that it's like turbo hailing here, so I missed the first bit of that.
Gosh.
I'm just kind of going through the order of
He's
events.
talking out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get to the fort. We kind of find comfortable places to park up. Tourist goes off, probably with some or all of our group to draw the door somewhere, at least initially, right? And,
Okay.
I have a question.
Sure.
eh.
So, would you have been bringing up that you don't necessarily fully trust these people at all?
If I think now would be the time that he's going to bring that up, essentially.
Yeah, maybe you discuss it
been-
at the tower.
Like we're at the fort. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we're at the fort, we're at the tower. That's when I want to choose to discuss it, because it's kind of been like, Tourist hasn't been like outwardly like saying anything, right? He's just been kind of lightly gauging this guy's reactions based on what he's asking or what he's saying, essentially, and kind of just lightly pressing on anything that seems a little strange to him. But not so much that it would break the kind of flow of conversation, considering both of them like to talk a lot. If that makes sense.
If that comes up, Isha just simply leaves to go find them.
And you do find them. They're in basically the courtyard of the fort. Staying out of the way of like the soldiers here. Shavik is like kind of trying to talk to Brim, and Brim is just like not talking back. Brim is like checking on their supplies, but then I think he spots you coming over, and he like
I'm making no effort to be stealthy about it.
he just drops the fabric that's like covering the supplies in their cart. Like makes a point to cover everything that they have in there. Very protective of the goods, as you know, makes sense for his title, for his job description here with Shavik. But then levels that kind of glare towards you. And Shavik, in the middle of saying something unimportant to Brim, kind of like notices and then turns and sees you.
What is your game?
And Brim just
And while
go ahead.
And so while she's talking, she's just gonna fire off just 2 dispels.
Oh, okay. Okay. Interesting. Let me see. Is this like one at each of them? What's the targets here?
Yes. The first one will be at Chalk.
Okay. Give me one moment. Go ahead and make me a counteract check. This is rank 4.
This is rank 4. I do have a hero point still, actually.
Okay.
Let me just reroll that. I can't reroll that for some reason.
Yeah, the right clicks are being weird today, and I don't know why.
31.
Wow. So where roughly on his body do you like center this effect, just for the sake of description?
It's like a clock underneath them. It is a fingers of like the arms of a circle underneath, and the arms of a clock sort of like spin, and like on midnight they end.
Okay.
And that's how it dispels the magic.
All right. Then you see as that clock spins, like one half of his face following that arm of the clock suddenly like turns gray, and you see one antler appear, and then it finishes, and he has the similar skin complexion. I guess you didn't see the other Skelm, but you reveal this creature as a Skelm, counteracting the polymorph effect. And his personable smile turns into a frown. And he just... And we were getting along so well. And that is where we're gonna end for the week.
Oh,
Beautiful.
I'm so glad I didn't flirt with him.
Beautiful. It was a trap.
It was a trap. You put a pretty boy on my screen.
Yeah, I wonder why I can't right-click anything.
Yeah, I don't know. That's weird.
Wow.
I updated the modules, like I said. Something might have broke, but I thought right-click was just like default behavior. So I gotta debug that. I gotta look into that now.
Just so to add a little extra depth of the situation, like, I mean, Isha could have left at any point, but essentially, during the conversation, for anyone else that stayed, or for as long as whatever Isha hears, he would have mentioned, like, you know, hey, this guy apparently was like working at the Shade of Death and did this, that, and the other thing with that guy that you guys found, blah blah blah. So just like saying, and then he would explain, like, I've been probing him in his responses, and they don't exactly match up, and that's why he's kind of suspicious. He's like, I don't know if it's like a Ruchalic that got into his brain or something like that, or what, but I'm thinking something's. Where's Isha?
Yeah, it's so funny because I feel like immediately
That's always what happens.
Turris would have just like turned around and gone Sherlock mode. And then the moment he turns around, they both are turning around at the same time.
Oh.
Okay,
both
remember guys,
turn,
we're
or just
level
one?
8.
You are level 8.
We're level 8.
We're level 8.
Let's go.
And then we're playing again on July 2nd.
Yeah, playing next week if that works for all you guys.
I think so.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'll be good next week, but not the week after.
Okay, gotcha. So maybe that's the week for Slug Blasters.
Yep, I'll prep and have it ready in 2 weeks.
Yeah. You're on it.
I mean, I could. I don't know, but that sounds.
If you don't want to spring for
I'm
it,
not
that's
that smart.
totally fair. I do think
I'm not that smart.
I think to some
You're
degree it's
plenty smart.
better to just jump in and roll with it sometimes when you're starting a new thing, a new campaign.
It is. I actually do think that it is sometimes just easier to jump in and just see what the fuck happens.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
maybe we can.
Up to you.
Maybe we can make something work.
no pressure at all.
I'll let you know.
I'm pressuring you.
I know. I really feel it, but without you even saying anything.
You felt the
pressuring you.
stare even without.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys for the fun session. I really enjoyed that.
Thank you.
You know,
If it helps to know Varys, I can't right click in my game either.
yeah. I can right click tokens. I can right click other stuff. I just can't right click chat messages. So I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, apparently I
Oh,
can't do
in
that.
your game. I see what you mean. Weird.
Yeah, I went to my game.
Okay. Yeah, that's odd.
So we'll see.
I'll see if there's like console errors happening when I try it. I'll do a little debugging. Yeah. maybe that was like it was a very interesting travel session for me because I was sitting over there like, hey, this guy's got this big secret and they don't know. Hopefully it was also engaging for you guys.
It's so funny because I thought for a minute when Turris and him were having that conversation about him being adept at dispelling spirits or dealing with spirits or whatever, I'm like, maybe he can help us with the nightmare that's been stalking Turris. And then we just killed it. I was like, oh, we're fine. We don't need him anyway. I didn't feel a need to even talk to him, so I'm glad.
God, cannot believe it can.
That was crazy. I gave up so fast on chasing it, and you guys all were just like, boom.
It's so good
Gotta
at
go.
escaping, but you guys are so good at moving.
I'm not.
It is.
But everyone else is, weirdly.
It is really hard to escape a guy who can run 55. Like he has 55 movement.
If it lived one more turn, so it can dimension door at will. So if it lived one more turn, it was going to dimension door just 120 feet into the air again, and then like start moving horizontally. And like, you guys don't actually have someone that can fly, so it would just need to survive whatever fireballs you had left, and then I think it would have gotten away. It was really pretty close. That was fun.
Yeah, it would have been. It's very interesting because I only have 4 searing lights available.
Mhm.
I don't have like, and obviously I have like more. I have like 4 fireballs, but like that really wouldn't have been enough. I don't think.
It would have.
You have 4 fireballs prepared?
No, I'm a spontaneous caster, so I just have.
Oh, I forget. I'm like, what the hell?
It should
Oh,
have.
that's funny.
It was waiting. Technically, they did accidentally help you with the nightmare because they had the first 2 watches. It could only put 1 person to sleep, and then sneak in and try to nightmare Turris. So the other 2 delayed the nightmare's incursion long enough for Isha to spot it, and then the plan was bust.
Isha wouldn't have noticed it trying to touch me with its willies.
If Isha was asleep, no. That's what I'm saying. It was gonna sleep one of you, and then
Oh.
whoever was on watch, it was gonna sleep whoever was on watch, and then sneak into camp. All right, I'm very happy to be playing again. Though. I got.
Dude.
I mean, sleeping me would have been pretty easy, I think.
Yeah, I think its DC was.
It was 28.
Yeah.
Should I go for the Homer Simpson approach?
Oh my god.
Why you little?
That's pretty good.
My favorite thing is the way that you have fully invested in this third limb.
I love it. Turkon is not who I thought was going to put on the lizard tail, and now I'm horrified because it's really good on him.
My favorite thing is that there's a feat line for the Aruxi that is just like you can do stuff with your tail, and like being able to grab people is one of the things that you can like learn first. I'm like, Turkon is just the like big tail Aruxi.
I'm split between these two: suplex or strangle.
They're both good with the tail. Oh man, I can't believe.
I think strangle would be more versatile, though.
Why didn't I think you would take the tail? You just don't have to give up anything to grab people with your enormous strength now. This is horrible.
Yeah.
This is horrible. Oh no.
Strangle is like a super grab on spellcasters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is actually pretty good.
Like, it is hard for spellcasters to get away anyway, and then they can't cast spells? Can't easily cast spells? That's pretty rough.
Well, yeah, so when you have them strangled, it is technically a easier check than restrained, but they also can't talk.
Yeah. Well, it's also just on our melee.
Oh,
You don't-
rather than an addition. Wait.
Huh? You don't have to like. I think this is easier to do than getting something restrained.
Well, yeah, but you can't like restrain someone reliably.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, it says on a success, I gain a circumstance bonus to damage equal to the number of weapon dice.
Yep.
How much would that be?
Right now, I think it's just 2. But as you like upgrade your weapon and get like greater striking, it'll be 3 and then 4.
Okay.
And then it is 5 with mythic striking,
Right.
if we ever do that.
Yeah.
So
We-
that will give me a +2 to damage on the next hit. Is that what it's saying?
Is this for suplex?
For, s-
Sorry, I'm
for
trying to-
strangle.
For strangle. Okay. Correct. Let's see. Circumstance bonus to damage equal to the number of weapon damage dice. Yeah.
Yeah,
Correct.
I think I'm gonna go with strangle.
Suplex is really fun. I have a character in Path Builder that is like basically built around suplex.
Yeah. Well, when we started, I wanted to make Turkon into a luchador.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Oh my god.
It is hard to be a luchador when you have like a two-handed weapon.
Yeah.
I'll give you a tail. Apparently.
You're really kicking yourself over that one.
Would I am. Would Turkon have worn like a
spandex suit?
that would have been great.
A mask?
Mhm.
You know what's funny is there is actually a luchador archetype.
That's pretty great.
Well, there's
I'm
the
trying to remember
wrestler
its-
archetype, which is what
I'm trying to remember
have.
its. Well, I mean, in the specific mythos of the luchador, like there's like obviously there's being a wrestler, but like also like being a luchador is technically different. So it's like it's masked something. I'll find it and I'll send it in Discord
Sure.
later.
I like
So just
getting 3 feats
confirming-
in one level.
So we are actually level 8 now.
Correct. You're
Yes.
level 8. You're level 8 and put
You're not.
put 100 experience in
You're not-
beyond that.
Oh,
You're
that's
not
good.
lying to me.
No, I'm not lying to you.
Wait, how much? We're plus 100?
Yeah, level 8 with 100 XP.
Not 1,000, Mitchell. That was a lot of zeros.
Level 9.
Dolphin stamina fee.
Okay, well, thanks for running, Varys. I'm gonna go because I have to pee.
Valid.
I as well. But I'll talk to you again on Sunday. And then I'll talk to the rest of y'all on Wednesday.
Yeah.
See you guys next
I'm
week.
getting concerned.
Feel better,
I,
Bill.
I only have 5 pages on my notebook left. I'm like,
Gotta get a second
We're
one.
writing real small.
Dylan's got to end the campaign.
Campaign ends when your notebook ends.
that would be. Thank you. Mercy, Varys, mercy.
They just gotta, I don't know, these guys they'll disappear here, they'll stalk you a little longer, they'll kill you in your sleep after you've filled 5 pages of notes.
There you go. Yeah.
And Brim will be unhappy
Perfect.
about
That
it.
sounds like a satisfying end.
Yeah.
And we can just wrap up the world. We don't need to have any more campaigns in it.
Also, Mitchell's notebook will end nicely.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Later.
Let me know if anyone has any questions about
Bye.
leveling. Otherwise, you are all free.
Sweet.
We go end the stream, and then I'll be hanging out for a little bit.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Feel
Feel
better,
better.
bro.
Well, I feel fine. My voice is just gone, so. Alrighty. See ya.
Oh yeah.
All right. Thank you guys for hanging out for Pathfinder. That was a fun session. I'm happy to be back. That went smoother than I thought for my first session back. I'm always worried about how those will go. I'm sure some of you can relate. We're going to find someone to raid. I don't know who hangs out on Wednesdays. I'm so accustomed to Saturdays, having my cozy raid into Secret Lunchbox. We'll see who's around. We will be playing next week. I will be finding some time to do GM prep between now and then. It's it might be on Sunday after Moto's campaign, maybe. And I'm gonna try to do music on Monday. We'll see how it all kind of lands. So you can find more about that in my Discord. Gonna be working on a website soon. I have music commissions started. I'm doing a lot of stuff, and I would like to present more of that to stream. So we'll be working on that soon. It's so quiet. It's so quiet right now. I don't know who to raid. It's a lot of people that I'm not that familiar with. I see that a channel we have raided before, Dork Tales, is playing Vampire the Masquerade. We might go hang out there, do some tabletop stuff there. So maybe that's what we'll do. We'll see what Dork Tales is up to. Support some tabletop RPG stuff, if nothing else. Happy to hang out there and see what they're doing. So let's do that. So we're gonna go raid Dork Tales. Feel free to say hi if you want. How long have they been going? Let me just double check that. An hour. They should be going for a little bit more. Sick. Okay. Once again, thank you guys for hanging out. Come on with me to say hi to Dork Tales. Hang out a little bit there, see what they're up to. And I'll see you all again real soon. Goodbye.